This page is the front cover of Dreamcast Magazine, Volume 2, dated January 15, 1999, priced at 450 yen. It announces a new title scoop for Dreamcast, revealing the title Berserk. The cover highlights several special reports, including Web, Mystery Premonition Dream Seeing Cat, Armored Cavalry Space Griffin, Frameglade, and Kita-E White Illumination. New Dreamcast information features Evolution, Eternal Dungeons, Power Stone, Sega Rally 2, Blue Stinger, and Climax Landers. The magazine also boasts a complete guide section for recently released games, including Sonic Adventure, Seventh Cross, Evolution, and Godzilla Generations. A major feature is teased as a 16-page big special report about Yu Suzuki's latest unveiled work, promising 2 hours of excitement from the December 20th announcement event. As a special bonus, the magazine includes a 1999 special calendar featuring popular Dreamcast characters. It also mentions perfect follow-up coverage on Sega Saturn news and ends with a message, "With you kiss." This page is an advertisement for Taigeki Graph and Sakura Wars, a product related to the Sakura Wars series. The image features Sakura Wars characters in a domestic setting, and it highlights that as an initial purchase bonus, buyers receive a special Taigeki Graph book. The product itself is on 2 CD-ROM discs and priced at 4,800 yen before tax. Screenshots from Sakura Wars games are also showcased. This page is dedicated to the Sakura Wars series, focusing on a special public performance titled Sleeping Forest Beauty. It highlights that the Flower Troupe is taking on a new theatrical challenge, creating an ADV part and minigames for the performance. The page promotes Taigeki Graph, a limited first edition magazine section for December, which seems to be a special edition, and mentions it will feature a cover illustration by Hidenori Matsubara, alongside details like the Taisho 14th year setting and behind-the-scenes stories. The content listed includes various articles and features, such as a Sakura Wars quiz with 200 questions, a collection of setting terminology, a Taigeki Graph edition, picture collections, and items related to Emperor Strike Military General Chess and Great War II Taisho 14th Year Edition. There are also sections titled Light Staff, Watashi no Dress, Bara no Name, W no Markteki, and Moshimo Piano ga Hikeretara, all of which seem to be themed articles or features within this edition. Screenshots from Sakura Wars 2, Thou Shalt Not Die, are also showcased, along with an interview collection and activity photo collection, suggesting behind-the-scenes content and developer insights will be included. This page is the contents page of Dreamcast Magazine Volume 2, dated January 815, 1999, and it outlines the magazine's features. Highlights include a year-end special reflecting on Dreamcast's impact in 1998 and looking forward to the 1999 gaming landscape. A Dreamcast special feature previews anticipated titles such as Shenmue with coverage of its Pacifico Yokohama presentation, Frameglade, which is a 3D mecha action game with online versus play, Berserk, Web Mystery Yoso Yume o Miru Neko, Kita-E, White Illumination, and Space Griffin. The Dreamcast Hot Information section introduces new game details for Evolution, Eternal Dungeons, Power Stone, Sengoku Turb/Sega Rally 2, and Blue Stinger/Timestalkers. The magazine also features a Dreamcast software complete guide covering Sonic Adventure, Seventh Cross Evolution, Godzilla Generations, and Incoming. As a special bonus, the magazine includes a 1999 calendar featuring popular Dreamcast characters, available from January to June 1999. This page is the contents page for the magazine, listing articles for both Dreamcast and Sega Saturn games. For Dreamcast, the index includes Incoming, Web Mystery, The Yochimu Cat, Kita-E, White Illumination, Timestalkers, Godzilla Generations, Shenmue, Evolution, The World of Sacred Device, Sega Rally 2, Seventh Cross, Evolution, Sengoku Turb, Power Stone, Space Griffin VF9, and Sonic Adventure. For Sega Saturn, it lists Blue Stinger and Berserk, which are likely Dreamcast games mistakenly placed here in the index, along with Frameglade, With You Mitsumetetai, Girl Doll Toy, Kiss Yori, Sakura Wars, Tsuchipai, Secret Album, Temporary, Turyu Densetsu Elendore, and Langrisser Tribute. There are also sections for Special Report, focusing on With You Mitsumete Tai, coming soon soft, covering Kiss Yori, and Tsuchipai, complete guide for Sakura Wars, Sega Saturn Magazine Data Station, Sega Saturn Reader Race, and Sega Saturn Software Review. This page is a news article discussing Yu Suzuki's new role at Sega in sales after the announcement of the upcoming game, Shenmue. The article highlights Yu Suzuki's transition to leading the sales department following the Shenmue production presentation events that were held in 6 locations across Japan, starting December 20th. It mentions the Dreamcast launch on November 27th, which had good initial sales but was facing stock shortages. To address this, Sega launched an Apology CM or commercial campaign starting December 14th, featuring Yu Suzuki apologizing for the shortages. The article mentions this commercial aims to express Sega's apology in a unique and engaging way, featuring Yu Suzuki and potentially other Sega figures in humorous scenarios, such as pulling a cart and distributing apologies. The bottom of the page features the magazine's title, Dreamcast Magazine Weekly News, and dates Frin 12/25 and 1/7, suggesting it's a weekly publication. This page features a mix of Dreamcast and Sega-related news. Starting at the top left, there is an announcement for a Dreamcast download service game called Atsumete Gojira Kaiju Daishugo, which translates to Collect Godzilla Great Monster Gathering. It seems to be a VMU game where you collect monsters, and it's being distributed via a download service. Moving to the top right, there's news about a collaboration where if you visit the Fuji Television Ball Observatory, you can get free entry into Tokyo Joyopolis. This is a promotional campaign running from January 18th to February 28th. In the middle left, there's an event announcement for Christmas and New Year at a location called Taisho Romante. They are holding a New Year event and selling special goods including original Purikura photo booth frames and special Omamori charms. The middle right section is advertising a campaign to celebrate the release of the Star Wars Trilogy arcade game. By participating, people can win a trip to Hollywood. At the bottom left, it's the first anniversary of the Sakura Taisen official fan club, Taisho Roman Club. It mentions membership numbers and benefits like newsletters and event priority. Finally, at the bottom right, there's news about Sega continuing its sponsorship of the J-League for 1999. It mentions Sega's intention to support the entire J-League and not just specific teams, and that more details will be announced later. Sega Freaks Akihabara opened a pop-up store, Moto Buyoman Hanpo, on Christmas Eve, offering various items and food. A release party for the game NOEL 3 Inches was held on December 11th, featuring Noel Laneige and game creators. Metal Gear Solid trading cards, part of the Konami Special Collection, were released in Japan and the US, including autographs and artwork. The Angelique series will have a radio show on Radio Japan and AM Kobe starting in January, hosted by Ken Umeda and Akiko Takehito, with dramas and talk segments. The third ASC2 Entertainment Software Contest awarded 40 prizes out of 4,015 submissions on February 13th. Hiroshi Sawada won the semi-grand prize for Booby Show. And applications for the next contest open in July 1999. This page advertises game guides, merchandise, and soundtracks. Strategy guides are announced for games like Virtua Fighter 3TB, Sakura Wars, Steam Bouquet OVA, Noel 3 Feet, and Real Mahjong Adventure, detailing game mechanics, characters, and walkthroughs, with prices ranging from 1,400 to 2,000 yen and release dates in December. Merchandise includes a highly detailed Gyaos hypermodel from Gamera 3 Feet for 158,000 yen and Venus in Paradise's trading cards featuring various artists, available at Comic Market for 500 yen per pack. Soundtracks advertised include Last Chance Something Else, 1,020 yen, Roommate W Futari Soundtrack Collection, 3,150 yen, Wizard's Harmony R Original Soundtrack, and Steel Cockpit Super Robot Great War Soundtrack, both 2,548 yen, all currently on sale and featuring music from various games and shows, with some offering first edition bonuses like calendars. This page is a year-end special feature from 1998, reflecting on the year of the Dreamcast's debut and Sega's changes. It includes a news digest looking back at key events. The page features an interview with Inagoeshi from the Akihabara game store, Message Sano, who provides his perspective on the game market in 1998. Key news highlights include Sega Tai Zero character becoming very popular, especially amongst children in tea rooms, with its theme song widely enjoyed, and the CD selling 50,000 copies. Saitama magazine included a demo CD featuring playable demos of Sokoban Adventure Taikoban and Kiki Kai Kai 2. Compile, the developer of Puyo Puyo, unexpectedly applied for conciliation, and Puyo Puyo Flex went bankrupt. Despite this, they released the game Power Act-T. This event shocked the industry and led to the cancellation of the Saturn version of Densha de Go. Irishi became the new president of Sega, succeeding Nakayama, with a stated goal of making Sega a more interesting company. Sega announced a 39 billion yen deficit in their March financial results, and the Sega Saturn was effectively withdrawn from the North American market, despite selling 1.8 million units there. This 1998 News Digest reviews the gaming year, starting with the Spring Tokyo Game Show in March, highlighting Sega's popular Sakura Wars-themed booth. April 4th saw the release of Sakura Wars 2 on Sega Saturn, accompanied by long queues and a musical debut starring Saki Nitta. In May, the Virtua Fighter series was recognized at the Smithsonian, including the Dreamcast version of Virtua Fighter 3 TB. Industry trends showed winter sports and intergame-like games were popular, with FIFA Soccer's PlayStation release noted. Soccer and baseball games performed well across genres. The Game Character Business section discussed Sega's April releases, noting distribution issues in smaller stores and a potential market peak. Arcade market decline and struggles for some companies due to economic shifts and fading keychain portable game popularity were also mentioned, alongside the continued release of portable games. This page highlights several news snippets and topics relevant to Sega and the gaming scene around mid-1998. The page mentions an event on May 21st where Sega held a presentation, possibly related to Dreamcast, featuring a live presenter. On May 23rd, there was an announcement event for D2, a Dreamcast title, at the Tokyo International Forum, including a demo and music performance. It is also noted that in August, an announcement for Sonic Adventure will also be held at the same venue. May 31st marks the date Sonic the Hedgehog secured a 3D trademark. June 12th is when the issue of used software sales reached the courts, involving companies like Capcom, Konami, Square, and Namco, who filed a lawsuit to stop used game sales. June 13th celebrates a Saturn magazine reaching its 100th issue. The page also notes that June in Japan is heavily focused on the World Cup, boosting the popularity of soccer-related games. Lastly, a section titled, The End of the Century 1999, Everyone Will Dance, discusses predictions for the 1999 game market, mentioning that from August onwards, the market forecast is uncertain. The expert also mentions that the Legend of Zelda games are selling well, reinforcing Nintendo's strong position, but questions if there are any games beyond Zelda that are impactful, suggesting the current hardware might be limiting. They are also considering the potential of visual memory and portable gaming like the Color Game Boy to revitalize the market. This page is part of the 98 News Digest, highlighting key events from June to December. On September 17th, at the Amusement Machine Show, Sega unveiled the NAOMI arcade board. It was highlighted for its 3D graphics capabilities, attracting attention from companies like Namco. October 9th marked the opening of TGS 98 Autumn, showcasing the Dreamcast along with PlayStation, WonderSwan, and Neo Geo Pocket games. On November 11th, it was announced that The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time on Nintendo 64 had sold over 1 million copies. The article also mentions the upcoming N64 title, Pikachu Genki Dechu. November 27th was the release date for the Dreamcast in Japan. The Dreamcast Magazine was also launched on this day, and the Dreamcast hardware was reported to be sold out in many stores. December 20th saw the production announcement event for Shenmue. This page is a special year-end and New Year edition looking at 1998 and the coming year, focusing on the summary of 1998 and plans for next year. It features an interview with Hirokazu Kano, manager of the CS promotion department at Sega's Dreamcast division. The headline is, "The beginning is the end, not cow." Candelino discusses the Dreamcast launch, acknowledging initial supply shortages, but emphasizing it as a new beginning, not an end. He mentions that they are focusing on strengthening the software lineup and network features for the Dreamcast. He addresses concerns about game delays and title shortages, stating that Sega is united and positive about the Dreamcast's future. He highlights Shenmue as a title that embodies the quality and grade they aim for, including network features as a key aspect. The News Checkpoint section reports on Yuji Yukawa taking responsibility for Dreamcast production delays and becoming a regular employee in the sales department. This news is described as shocking, but the interview implies it is being used as a promotional tactic, even suggesting CM commercials are being made about it. The overall tone suggests Sega is trying to turn a negative situation into positive publicity. This article titled, Licensee 54 Companies 98 and then 99 explores industry perspectives on 1999, particularly concerning the Dreamcast. Software companies were observing Nintendo 64, PlayStation, and portable consoles. While Dreamcast was considered a potential 99 keyword, 54 licensee companies were surveyed for their opinions. 36 confirmed participation with Dreamcast, 23 were considering, and 262 were not. Licensees had varied views. Atlas prioritized high-quality software, while Winkysoft saw casual and easy gameplay as key. SNK aimed for a broader audience and network connectivity. ESP emphasized entertainment and communication, and voice recognition, anticipating Dreamcast's rise. Web System noted weak software impressions initially, but expected growth, and awaited new hardware announcements. NEC Interchannel felt software lagged hardware, desired game variety, and saw uncertain Dreamcast dominance in '99. Imagineer noted a trend shift beyond graphics, expecting Dreamcast growth. Slicing Entertainment hoped for new genres beyond past successes. Kadokawa Shoten highlighted the need for new concept games, citing examples like Densha de Go. The Dreamcast launch and its 1999 prospects are analyzed through game company perspectives. Anticipation for the Dreamcast is high, with companies like Capcom aiming to meet expectations, although portable consoles are noted competition. Concerns include hardware shortages at launch, as highlighted by CRI. Companies stress the importance of a strong software lineup, quality, quantity, distribution, promotion, Koei, and achieving over 1 million unit sales, Genki, SIE, for Dreamcast's success. Online gaming capabilities are seen as a key market expander, SIE, Konami, C-Labo, with potential for online battles. Some predict a PDA war between Visual Memory and Pocket Station. Climax. While 1998 was seen as a year of new hardware and industry revitalization, Konami, Compile, the Dreamcast's market clarity and software availability were questioned. C-Labo, Compile. Despite development delays, Climax Graphics, a strong software wave towards late 1999 is anticipated. Interestingly, Dreamcast launched with the same number of software titles as Saturn, but boasted more participating manufacturers. 1999 is viewed as crucial for the Dreamcast to solidify its position through robust software and overcoming initial hurdles. A 1998 Japanese magazine page summarizes game developer perspectives on the past and future. Jaleco noted Dreamcast's strong hardware and N64's struggles, predicting voice/image recognition and arcade revivals. Sting felt 98 advancements were somewhat disappointing, but hoped for Dreamcast software to utilize its power in '99. Taito saw 98 as a prologue, with slow mid-year sales, believing Dreamcast's '98 marketing weak, but optimistic about network gaming and '99 potential. Shuei System questioned Dreamcast's momentum and emphasized communication over just technology. General Entertainment stressed compelling content for Dreamcast's online features. Takara predicted market saturation and need for new genres. Starlight Mary noted Dreamcast's launch and handheld decline, emphasizing originality and genre exploration. Daikoku Denki highlighted communication as standard, seeing summer-autumn '99 as decisive for Dreamcast production. Data East praised Dreamcast's marketing image, declaring '99 a pivotal year. Dreamcast launched with fewer titles, 62, compared to Saturn, 99, and PlayStation, 125. Genre analysis showed more RPGs on Dreamcast and less table games than Saturn, with puzzle elements blurring genres. This compilation of comments from game companies reflects on 1998 and anticipates 1999. The Dreamcast launch is widely considered the most significant event of 1998, with companies impressed by its internet capabilities and potential. Many acknowledge a saturated and competitive market, noting declining sales for PlayStation and Saturn, and the continued strength of handhelds like Game Boy and WonderSwan. Looking to 1999, companies are enthusiastic about developing for Dreamcast, and anticipates a hardware-focused year with the rise of network gaming. Some express concerns about market conditions and emphasize the need for high-quality, resonant games to succeed. The Dreamcast's architecture, based on the NAOMI arcade board, is highlighted as significant, bridging arcade and home console technology with potentially superior graphics. The 1999 game industry was heavily influenced by the launch of Sega's Dreamcast. Developers saw Dreamcast as potentially revitalizing the market and praised its marketing efforts, particularly the Yu Kawamura commercials. Anticipation for network gaming was high due to Dreamcast's capabilities. However, concerns arose regarding hardware supply, competition from PlayStation's successor and Nintendo 64DD, and the necessity for a diverse software library. The industry expected intensified competition in software quality and market share. Online gaming and handheld markets were also considered key trends. Drawing lessons from Sega Saturn's launch, consistent software releases were deemed crucial for Dreamcast's long-term success. While Dreamcast's initial reception was positive, its sustained success in 1999 depended heavily on providing a strong and varied software lineup throughout the year. This page is a year-end special feature from the magazine, interviewing Koji Watanabe, a representative director at GTV. The interview's main topic is about strategically planning game releases instead of relying on chance. Watanabe discusses how game consoles are becoming multimedia players, using Street on Sega Saturn as an example of a game that shifted perceptions. He also mentions Beat Mania and Dance Dance Revolution as further examples of this trend. The page highlights 3 games as representative of the year. For Sega Saturn, it's Street, a sound novel with 8 simultaneous scenarios praised for its realism, although sales were unexpectedly low despite critical acclaim. For Nintendo 64, it's The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time from Nintendo, a highly anticipated title that lived up to expectations with impressive graphics and immersive gameplay, despite its classic gameplay style. Finally, for arcade games, it's Konami's Dance Dance Revolution, which was a massive hit in arcades, reminiscent of the excitement surrounding Xevious and Virtua Fighter in the past, and predicted to become a lasting and mainstream title. The News Checkpoint section notes that only The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time for N64 and Pokémon Yellow for Game Boy surpassed 1 million sales in 1999. Dreamcast Magazine recommends Street, The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time, and Dance Dance Revolution as the key titles that represent the year. Screenshots from Street, The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time, and Dance Dance Revolution arcade cabinet are shown on the page. This page focuses on the Dreamcast and its potential as a general-purpose entertainment device. The headline suggests the Dreamcast aims to become a widely used terminal, not just a games console. The page highlights the Dreamcast's networking capabilities and its potential to revolutionize communication beyond just gaming. There's an interview with Hiroshi Watanabe, who is trying game production for the first time, creating a game called PlayStation Comic. This is described as a new type of software, where players click buttons to progress the story, with a mix of text, illustrations, photos, videos, and CG. The Game Kids of 2,999 Inches section mentions sound novels as an example of a game genre that blends digital materials and gameplay, suggesting a future where games integrate various media. Finally, there's a summary by Dreamcast Magazine's editor-in-chief, Kondo, reflecting on the game scene of 1998 and looking towards the future. He mentions the Dreamcast's launch and its impact, stating 1998 was a year of transformation for the game industry and highlighting Sega's promotional campaigns as successful. He concludes that the real enjoyment is still to come. This page showcases the Dreamcast Data Station section from a magazine, highlighting the top 5 best-selling Dreamcast software titles. At number 1 is Virtua Fighter 3 TB, a fighting game praised for its command inputs and controller settings. Second place is Godzilla Generations, an action game with news of free downloadable content coming soon via a website. Pen Triathlon, a penguin-themed racing game, takes third place, mentioning time attack challenges and online rankings, with a competition called the Nakamura Cup underway. Fourth position is held by July, an adventure game that is maintaining good sales figures. Below the top games, there is also a section addressing issues with Dream Passport version 1.00, specifically regarding password registration problems. Sega is working on version 1.01 to resolve these issues and will send it to users, but the release date is not yet determined as of December 17th. In the meantime, users are advised to use their temporary IDs and passwords. This Dreamcast Magazine article lists the top 30 most anticipated upcoming games. Grandia 2, a Game Arts RPG, tops the list, followed by Sega Rally 2 and Shenmue, Yokosuka. both by Sega, representing racing and adventure genres respectively. Other games in the top 30 include a diverse range, such as Biohazard Code, Veronica, Virtual On, Oratorio Tangram, Power Stone, and Mobile Suit Gundam Side Story 0079, Rise from the Ashes. The weekly pickup focuses on Berserk, an action game adapting the popular manga. Professional baseball team Otsukuru, ranked 19th, is highlighted for new features like Home Run Race and Baseball Boy modes, promising more details soon. This page presents 2 arcade game rankings. The top 20 most wanted Dreamcast ports reflects reader demand, topped by Sakura Wars, Virtual Striker 2 version 98, and Soul Calibur. Other desired ports include titles like Metal Gear Solid and Street Fighter 03. The top 15 video game income ranking shows arcade popularity, led by Virtua Fighter 3 TB, Virtual Striker 2 version 98, and Cyber Troopers Virtual on Oratorio Tangram. Street Fighter 03 and Soul Calibur also rank highly for income. Weekly pickup sections highlight Cyber Troopers Virtual on Oratorio Tangram's new version launch and Virtual Striker 2 version 98's ongoing popularity, with fans eagerly awaiting news of a new version, particularly due to its World Cup release timing. This document outlines the Dreamcast release schedule for software and hardware, starting from January 1999. The schedule is presented in a table format, with genre abbreviations and compatibility icons explained. Software releases begin in January 1999, with games like Sengoku Turb, Sega Rally 2 Feet, and Kishin Kukai Evolution, continuing through the year with titles scheduled for February, March, August, and December 1999, as well as Winter 99 Feet and Spring 99 Feet. Notable titles include Monaco Grand Prix Racing Simulation 2 Feet, Blue Stinger, Shenryu 2 tentative title, and Zenihon Pro Wrestling Tukon Densetsu Gaiden, Power Stone. A section for release date unannounced lists highly anticipated games such as Shenmue, Azusa, and The King of Fighters, tentative title. Hardware releases in January 1999 include the Dreamcast VGA box and racing controller, with additional peripherals like the fishing controller, tentative title, and vibration pack, tentative title, expected within 1999. Finally, the camera Dream Battle is mentioned as an other related product, scheduled for March 1999, featuring visual memory minigame functionality. This page reveals the Dreamcast Reader's Race 2 rankings as of December 25th. It's a reader-voted ranking of Dreamcast games. At the top of the chart is Virtua Fighter 3 TB, praised as a faithful arcade port, with reviewers noting its gameplay and high quality. Second place is Pen Pen Tri-Isolon, highlighted for its camera work and fun multiplayer. Reviewers enjoyed its accessible difficulty and racing elements. Third is Godzilla Generations, with comments on the lack of enemy variety, but praise for its realistic destruction, satisfying Godzilla fans. Finally, in fourth place is July, where reviewers mention a good story, but criticize the lack of character expression and map design. The page also discusses the Oz Table Dreamcast survey, noting a slight dip in the rating for Virtua Fighter 3 TB and highlighting Sonic Adventure as a game to watch. Looking ahead to the year-end, the magazine spotlights 4 anticipated games: Sonic Adventure, Incoming, Humanity Final Battle, Seventh Cross, Evolution, and Tetris 4D. Dreamcast peripheral rankings based on user feedback place the arcade stick first, followed by the keyboard, controller, and visual memory. Natsumete Godzilla Kaiju Daishugo ranks last. User reviews highlight the arcade stick's sensitive lever and good button feel, the keyboard's PC-like ease of use, though some struggle with alt keys and Japanese text input, and the Godzilla game's simple but engaging gameplay, with disappointment over monster transformations. The page also includes reader comments in an audience voice section, discussing rumors about Virtua Fighter 3, phonetic similarities, and personal anecdotes. A prediction contest asks readers to guess the ranking odds for Sega Rally 2 and Sengoku Turb, with an arcade stick and visual memory bundle as this week's prize. Past winners are listed. The Sonic Adventure odds prediction is delayed, while Sonic Adventure 2 prototype is mentioned as a future title to watch. This page is a Super Scoop news report announcing the latest work from Yu Suzuki, the creator, titled Shenmue. This advert highlights the unveiling of Shenmue, a game that has been shrouded in secrecy. There will be a presentation event on December 20th. The game is categorized as free, full reactive eyes entertainment genre. It boasts incredible scale and features real-time CG graphics and a massive volume of content. This is a Sega game slated for release in spring of next year. And this magazine issue will have a 16-page special feature on Shenmue. This page is a report on the Shenmue unveiling event held on December 20th. It's described as a Dream Magazine superfast report on the event in Yokohama. The atmosphere was filled with excitement as fans gathered early. The event included orchestra performances, demo movies, and live gameplay demonstrations, creating an immersive 2-hour presentation. Part 2 delves into the world and space of Shenmue, emphasizing its concept of a single, realistic world and its vastness, only partially revealed at the presentation. Part 3 introduces Ryo Hazuki as the main character and the innovative AI for other characters, aiming to create lively and engaging interactions. Part 4 highlights the magical special effects and direction, specifically mentioning time control and magic weather as new technologies that will immerse players in a world where they feel truly present. Part 5 features an emergency interview with Yu Suzuki, discussing the core concepts of Shenmue, its origins, and the mysteries within. It also mentions messages from Chinese martial arts experts, all contributing to unraveling the secrets of Shenmue. The main theme of Shenmue is highlighted as Cherish Your Loved Ones. This page is a Dreamcast special report detailing the announcement event for Shenmue. The event on December 20th featured a 30-minute orchestral concert in 4 movements to showcase the game's music. The event was hosted by Reiko Chiba and Shigeatsu Miyagi. Attendees had the chance to purchase exclusive Shenmue original merchandise at the venue, including a pamphlet, a music CD, tattoo stickers, a Christmas card, a memo pad, and a t-shirt. Prices for some items are mentioned: a calendar for 2,500 yen, a signed print for 5,000 yen, a poster set for 1,500 yen, a mouse pad for 600 yen, a figure for 2,000 yen, pre-order, a clear file for 1,000 yen, and a ballpoint pen for 200 yen. A single CD was also available, but without a set price. These goods were also going to be sold at Sega Freaks stores and Joyopolis locations. This page summarizes the Shenmue press conference event, highlighting key scenes. Scene 2 featured a Dreamcast gameplay demonstration, including making-of videos and character introductions, allowing attendees to experience quick-timer events and fighting scenes. Scene 3 introduced the actors portraying main characters: Masaya Matsukaze as Ryo Hazuki, Hazuki Ishigaki as Nozomi Harasaki, Hideo Ishikawa as Ji-Yu Zheng, and Hiroaki Fukuoka as Iwao Hazuki. Scene 4 announced the National 5 Major Cities presentation tour, with Shenmue director Yu Suzuki, offering people a chance to experience the game's thrill. The tour was scheduled across Osaka, Fukuoka, Sapporo, Sendai, and Nagoya from January 9th to 17th, 1999, with 2 sessions daily, 1300 to 1500 and 1600 to 1800, at each location, with varying capacities between 1000 and 2500. The page teases further Shenmue insights on the next page and promotes the official website for updates. Shenmue is presented as a groundbreaking RPG focused on unparalleled realism, branded as free, full reactive eyes entertainment. Yu Suzuki aimed to create a truly immersive and free experience, allowing players to feel genuinely present in the game world. This strong sense of reality is intended to resonate with players of all backgrounds, enabling them to connect with the themes and feel like they are living another life. The game emphasizes meticulous world building, with realistic details like antennas, power lines, and shop signs accurately recreating real-world environments. Locations such as Kowloon Walled City in Hong Kong showcase the game's scale and depth, with diverse streetscapes that convincingly immerse players in different countries and cultures. This page focuses on Shenmue, highlighting the game's expansive play space and world. It discusses how Yu Suzuki, after dedicating 3 years of development following Virtua Fighter 3, aimed to create a truly immersive and massive world for players to explore. The article mentions that Project Berkeley is the development codename for this ambitious title, which is now known as Shenmue. It also references a Tower of Babel demo that was showcased on May 21st for the Dreamcast. The text emphasizes the goal of offering players an entire world within the game, allowing for freedom of exploration. Screenshots depict environments resembling Hong Kong cityscapes, suggesting the game's detailed and realistic world design. The article's heading, "The True Identity of Free," alludes to the game's open and free-roaming nature. This preview introduces Shenmue, Yu Suzuki's latest game, a 16-page feature. It centers on Ryo Hazuki, a Japanese man, as he investigates his father's death, traveling to the West and China. The game prioritizes realism, with meticulously detailed towns and environments, blurring the lines between game and reality. Players have freedom of movement in smoothly curved spaces, with intuitive controls, directional buttons for movement, L for running, R for stopping. Interaction is key, allowing players to examine surroundings, find items, and engage with objects. Designed to be user-friendly and accessible even for children, Shenmue promises a seamless experience, maintaining consistent visual quality between gameplay and cutscenes, creating a reactive and immersive world. This page is about Shenmue and reveals that the story begins in the winter of 1986 in Yokosuka, Japan. It details how the game's setting is based on real locations in Yokosuka to create a sense of realism, showing screenshots of detailed environments and characters interacting. The article highlights the game's ambition to create a fully realized world, where players can interact with many characters and even animals like pigeons, hawks, bats, a blackbird, and goats, all rendered in full scale to enhance the immersive experience. The development team aimed for a realistic world where players could feel like they are truly living in the game, emphasizing conversations and interactions with the inhabitants of Yokosuka. This page is a character introduction for a new Sega Dreamcast title set in China, highlighting the game's grand scale and destiny theme. It introduces key characters, including Hazuki Iwao, who is described as the master of the Hazuka-style jujutsu and father of the protagonist, portrayed by Hiroaki Fujioka. Ren Wu Ying is another character, a leader of a street gang from Aberdeen, Hong Kong, seeking to learn martial arts. Lastly, Chao Jun is introduced as a bewitching woman cloaked in mystery, with dangerous eyes and unpredictable actions. The page features screenshots showcasing Hazuki Iwao in martial arts stances, emphasizing realistic character modeling and motion capture. It mentions that the smooth lip sync and detailed facial expressions are must-see features of the game. The title hints at the game being set in a vast Chinese backdrop and focusing on fate, which strongly suggests this is a preview for the upcoming adventure game, Shenmue. Shenmue utilizes motion actors to create realistic character movements, akin to voice actors for voices. Sega AM2 prioritized realism by employing professional performers for motion capture, especially for martial arts sequences. Tsuyoshi Tamaki, a martial artist skilled in karate, judo, iaido, and jujutsu, is the motion actor for Ryo Hazuki, embodying Ryo's sternness and enabling fluid movement. Hazuki Ishigaki portrays Shenhua, the innocent and kind heroine, capturing her gentle nature. Ishigaki, born July 12, 1978, known for her kindness, has a background in TV commercials. Shenmue features a third-person perspective with analog movement and boasts high-end CG and detailed modeling, ensuring immersive character integration within the game world. The next page is a feature article focusing on Yu Suzuki's latest game, Shenmue, and its innovative time control and magic weather systems. Suzuki explains that to achieve true realism, games need a time dimension in addition to the standard 3D space. He illustrates this with the example of a cup of water, pointing out its existence in the game world should be tied to time, as it might not be there the next day. Magic Weather builds upon this time axis by incorporating real historical weather data from Yokosuka, the game's setting, for the past decade. This means the game can accurately recreate weather conditions from specific dates and times, like rain on November 6, 1986, at 3 p.m. Players will experience dynamic weather changes and can even look up at the sky during rain. The article emphasizes that these features are pushing the boundaries of what's possible on the Dreamcast, achieving a new level of realism. Screenshots showcase snowy Yokosuka environments, demonstrating the magic weather system in action. This article, part of a series on Shenmue's special effects, focuses on its time control feature, arguing that it elevates the game to 4D. Shenmue aims for realism by simulating natural time progression, where NPCs live individual lives based on schedules, creating unique player experiences. Screenshots illustrate dynamic weather conditions like rain, snow, and fog, and time-of-day changes impacting scenes, such as light variation in a church. Achieving magic weather required pushing Dreamcast polygon limits, with time control and magic weather being crucial for immersive gameplay. Referencing Deciphering Its Secrets Part 3 Inches and a Riddle by Suzuki Yu, The article suggests innovative technology and thinking outside the box contribute to Shenmue's powerful visuals. The answer to this riddle is promised in future game information. This page is a Dreamcast special feature, focusing on Yu Suzuki's latest title, Shenmue. The article highlights it as a game designed to be enjoyed by a wide audience, from children to adults, aiming for a more accessible experience compared to complex fighting games. Yu Suzuki explains that even masterpieces can be too difficult, leading to frustration, so Shenmue introduces a new QTE Quick Timer Event battle system, a one-button action approach, where players follow on-screen icons to perform actions like hitting, kicking, and running, creating a cinematic feel similar to a movie. The page also details hand motion as a key technique in Shenmue. This feature was revealed the previous week and emphasizes realism, showcasing various hand movements for actions within the game, including picking up objects or playing with marbles, dice, and stones. The game emphasizes player immersion, placing them in a realistically crafted stage with dynamic time and weather. Players will experience the world as if they are truly living there, needing to earn money through part-time jobs like working at the harbor to progress, highlighting the importance of labor in the game. Screenshots show in-game scenes, including characters in a harbor area and hand motion examples. The development is still in progress, according to the text at the bottom. This page is all about Shenmue and its innovative features. It highlights the QTE or QuickTime Event system, emphasizing how it makes gameplay more dramatic and exciting, adapting to different scenes and allowing for branching storylines depending on player success. The article explains that QTEs integrate seamlessly with in-game events, intensifying moments like chases or fights with dynamic camera work. The page also boasts about the massive scale of Shenmue, particularly the city of Kowloon Walled City, stating there are over 1,200 unique rooms to explore. It mentions the detailed environments filled with interactive objects like phones and tape recorders, and highlights the freedom players have to explore this expansive world. This page is a special interview report focusing on Yu Suzuki's latest work, which is revealed to be Shenmue. The article details an emergency press conference held for the game. One key point highlights that the movie age being shown is actually 2 years old, and was originally created for a special disc included with Virtua Fighter 3 TB on Dreamcast. This special disc, mentioned as Project Berkeley, included a short 1-minute movie. Another highlight is a message from Chen Lian Zihe, an 8-pole boxing master, emphasizing the game's strong basis in martial arts and philosophy. He expresses his admiration for Yu Suzuki's ambition and the game's potential to convey deep themes to a global audience. The page includes images of Yu Suzuki, in-game Shenmue screenshots, and character illustrations displayed in the interview room. It is clear that Shenmue is the main focus, with details about its development and the involvement of martial arts expertise. This page is an interview with Yu Suzuki discussing his game, Shenmue, which was known as Project Berkeley at the time. Suzuki talks about wanting to deliver a new type of game experience for a new generation. He emphasizes the game's setting in China and his concept of a free genre, aiming for full interactivity and a seamless blend of movie-like scenes and gameplay, which he describes as fusion rather than just combination. He mentions improvements in character animation, with more joints for smoother movement compared to Virtua Fighter 3. Suzuki highlights the ambition to create a game with global appeal and the core theme of cherishing friends, which is represented in calligraphic writings on the page, such as love and friendship. He touches upon the depth of interaction in the game, mentioning how even small actions like moving a hand will be significant. The interview also delves into why China was chosen as the main location for Shenmue, explaining it was to evoke a sense of scale and tension different from settings like Japan or America. Overall, this is a deep dive into Suzuki's vision and ambitions for Shenmue and the new generation of gaming experiences he aimed to create. This page announces the upcoming Dreamcast game, Berserk. It highlights that the game is a 3D action title set in a dark, medieval fantasy world, emphasizing the hard violence and romance aspects of the original manga. The game, published by ASC2, is slated for release in 1999 and will be single-player only. A key point is that the game will feature an original story written specifically for it by Berserk's creator, Kentaro Miura. The page features prominent artwork of Guts and Casca, iconic characters from the series. This page announces the upcoming Dreamcast game, Berserk, Millennium Falcon Arc, Chapter of the Flowers of Oblivion, a 3D action title based on the popular manga series Berserk by Kentaro Miura. The game promises to recreate the world of Berserk in full 3D, emphasizing the fear of battling enemies and the exhilarating feeling of defeating them with a massive sword. Developed with the full cooperation of Miura himself, the game is set during the Millennium Falcon arc story from the manga and highlights the dark, bloody, and iron-filled narrative. The page also references the manga's massive success with 9.5 million copies sold and mentions the previous 1997 anime adaptation. Screenshots showcase in-game visuals with grotesque monster designs. The text emphasizes this game will bring an original Berserk world to players. This page is a preview for the Dreamcast game Berserk. It highlights the game's story, which closely links to the original manga, focusing on an episode where Guts is in pursuit of God Hand and Femto. The story involves a town afflicted by the Mandragora frenzy disease, which turns people into monsters when they are hostile. Guts is described as a revenger, driven by the loss of his comrades and the nightmare he experienced, wielding his large sword, Dragon Slayer, to fight against the inhuman foes. The voice actor for Guts is listed as Nobutoshi Kana. The page also introduces Puck, a fairy character who rarely appears before humans and accompanies Guts on his journey. He is described as having a cheerful personality, and his wing scales have healing properties, often aiding Guts. The voice actor for Puck is not yet revealed. Core. The page shows in-game screenshots of both Guts and Puck, along with design sketches of Guts' armor and equipment, emphasizing that the 3D models in the game are based on these designs. The next page features two sections titled Berserk World Guide 1 and Berserk World Guide 2. Berserk World Guide 1 describes Guts as a lone wolf who chases after enemies, but also as a comrade who once fought alongside them on the battlefield. It mentions the mercenary group Band of the Hawk and its leader Griffith, who had a dream of obtaining his own country. This dream led to tragedy, and Griffith sacrificing his comrades to become a demon king. Guts is now on a journey to pursue his demonized friend. Berserk World Guide 2 inches is titled Transcendent Existence Apostle and Behelit. It describes Behelids as small, face-like accessories that resonate with the owner's soul. When a river of blood flows, the demon kings, known as the God Hand, appear from another dimension. By sacrificing something considered half of oneself to the demons, the owner can transform into an apostle, a transcendent being. The page mentions that Casca is described as a woman who should be protected by a warrior. The text in the box with CV Miyama Yuko states that Casca is the only survivor who lived with Guts and shared the hell. The shock she received at that time was too great, and her mind remains broken. It wonders if there will ever be a day when her heart returns to normal. It also mentions the Crimson Behelit, also known as the King's Egg. This page highlights a game concept for the Dreamcast called Mandragora Disturbance, which is a strange disease or phenomenon. The story questions the player about what truly constitutes happiness, asking if it's better to live righteously amid malice and hatred, or to escape into madness, even if possessed by monsters. The game explores the contrast between people who live peacefully despite being possessed, and those who are cruel and violent to the weak. The text describes the Mandragora as a legendary plant that appears at night, possesses people, and is becoming feared, despite ancient legends claiming it's a panacea, leading people to risk everything to obtain it. The page features concept art and illustrations of monstrous, plant-like creatures, likely related to the Mandragora theme. This page is focused on the action aspects of the game Berserk. It highlights the player's ability to control Guts and perform actions as seen in the original manga. The action part of the game centers around Guts' main weapon, the great sword Dragon Slayer, and recreates weapons and combat from the source material. Players can perform various actions, allowing them to experience playing as Guts in their own way. Check 1. Yelling and cutting actions. This section explains that players can perform actions like yelling and cutting, reflecting Guts' combat style. Yelling can be used strategically to lure enemies, while cutting is presented as a core combat action, likely usable when facing enemies. Check 2. Varied combat situations. This section emphasizes the variety of combat scenarios in the game, not just in open fields, but also in confined spaces like caves and castles. The stage design will be diverse, and enemies will act intelligently, not simply charging mindlessly. There might also be situations where players need to protect specific characters for a certain amount of time as a clear condition. The next page is an interview with the development staff at Yuke's about their upcoming Dreamcast game, Berserk. They discuss how previous consoles couldn't properly represent the world of Berserk, but the Dreamcast finally allows them to realize their vision and meet fan expectations. The team, including director Takashi Suzuki, planner Sunao Nakamoto, designer Takanori Yoshioka, and character modeler Makoto Yamamoto, talk about wanting to capture the intensity of the manga, especially the power and weight of gut sword in combat. Yuks, known for their PlayStation wrestling games like Toukan Retsuden, are bringing their expertise to this action title. They also mention their first self-published title, Fujin Ryuiki Eltgavars, known internationally as Ehrgeiz, God Bless the Ring, and Sukai Wolf, Bushido Blade, as games they've worked on. The developers emphasized the desire to create a truly immersive Berserk experience on the Dreamcast, showcasing the brutal combat and atmosphere of the series. This page is an interview with Kentaro Miura, the creator of Berserk, about the upcoming Berserk Dreamcast game. Miura discusses his vision for the game, emphasizing player freedom within defined boundaries, and the importance of player choice in how they approach challenges. He wants players to feel like they are embodying Guts, the main character, in their own way. The interview touches on the game's development, aiming to capture the essence of the Berserk manga, particularly Guts' fighting style and the dramatic elements of the story. They are focusing on accurately representing Guts' actions and reactions, like him fighting strategically with his back to a wall, or his relentless fighting spirit even when outnumbered. Miura wants to recreate the feeling of wielding a massive iron club and capturing the intensity of Berserk in the game. He also hints at secret elements and unique enemy designs to make the game more than just increasing enemy strength, suggesting boss battles and challenging scenarios. The interview mentions the inclusion of hard and easy difficulty modes and finishes with a message from the development team emphasizing that they want players to enjoy the world of Berserk. The page also features a blue-toned manga panel showing Guts in action and a Christmas present advertisement offering signed Berserk art by Miura to 3 lucky readers who enter a draw. This page is about the Dreamcast title Web Mystery, an adventure game from Panasonic Wonder Entertainment set in the realm of the Internet. The article is a preview and announcement for the game, highlighting it as a Dreamcast cast participation project. The game's setting spans locations like Japan, Hong Kong, and Seoul, with the narrative focusing on incidents occurring in Internet cafes. Players will encounter mysteries and receive premonition videos via the in-game Internet. Notably, Web Mystery simulates an Internet experience without actually connecting to the real World Wide Web, instead utilizing content stored on the GDROM, thus avoiding phone charges and ensuring fast loading speeds. The game uses Real Video Age to enhance its immersive virtual Internet world. This preview introduces Web Mystery, Prophecy Dreaming Cat, an adventure game for Dreamcast. Key staff include Kido Hatsusho, planner, original story, total coordinator, known as Kim King, with experience on Metal Max, and Hirota Takeshi, video producer, original story director, known for Zero's the Rouse, promising a suspenseful narrative. The cast features Tsuda Hideaki as the main character, a stage and voice actor, Morikawa Asahi as the bartender, experienced in TV dramas and gaming, and Kawahara Aya as Idol Asami, formerly of Jam Sisters, known for bright idol roles. Releasing in spring 1999 for 5,800 yen as a Panasonic Wonder Twinment title, the game targets Dreamcast users familiar with Internet-based adventure experiences. This page reveals the battle mode for the Dreamcast title Frame Gride from Software, which is slated for release in spring 1999. It highlights the game as a 3D battle action title with customizable mechs and showcases screenshots of both single-player and communication battle modes. The article emphasizes the addition of network battles as a key feature for the Dreamcast version. A development report section and Mechanism Body Edition offer further insights into the game's development and mech designs. The article also references From Software's pedigree in battle modes from their PlayStation titles like Shadow Tower and Armored Core, mentioning Armored Core specifically for its split-screen and cable communication battle features, with a screenshot of the PlayStation Armored Core game included for context. This page is a preview of the game Frame Gride, highlighting its communication battle features and aiming for responsiveness similar to one-player mode. The page details several aspects of the game, including a durability gauge representing the mech's overall resilience, and a body part damage system indicated by color-coding damage levels to different parts of the mech, although the specific impact on performance is still unclear. The communication battle system Dwango for Dreamcast is explained as enabling online battles via a network game system, aiming for smooth gameplay. It mentions using Dreamcast Magazine's Cigar Gallery 2 feet for connection. The normal battle section describes local versus play using two controllers on one Dreamcast, where the screen is split vertically. To address visibility issues in split screen, the game displays mechs smaller on screen, ensuring a clear view of the battlefield. Cooperative play is also confirmed, where two players can team up against enemies in a mode yet to be fully revealed. The stage report section introduces new stages, emphasizing the detailed 3D environments and lighting effects, characteristic of From Software. It mentions stages like a sky garden with fountains and cave-like areas with pillars, suggesting diverse and visually interesting battlefields. This page is a Dreamcast special report featuring the game Kita-hi, which translates to the north. Quote, "It's described as a travel communication game developed by Hudson, planned for release in February 1999. The page highlights the game's setting in Hokkaido, Japan, noting that while winter has arrived and Hokkaido is snowy, the game focuses on summer encounters and dates with girls. It also mentions the climax of the game is set in winter Hokkaido and that there will be information on white illuminations. The page emphasizes the latest information on dating scenes with girls and has a special report badge with an achievement rate 80%. Two anime-style illustrations of girls are shown, one in a black dress looking pensive and another in a white dress eating. This page is a preview for the game Kita-hi White Illumination. It's a romance-adventure game where the protagonist, a high school student, travels from Tokyo to Hokkaido during summer vacation. The story begins in Sapporo, where his relatives live, and he is greeted by his cousin, a girl named Kotone Haruno. The page introduces the premise, where the player will encounter various girls in Sapporo and other locations, building summer memories, and possibly romantic relationships. It also details the access from Nuchitose Airport to Sapporo and the Haruno family's welcoming atmosphere. The page includes character relationship diagrams, showcasing Kokotone Haruno as the cousin, and introduces other characters such as friends from the tennis club at Osato High School, including Megumi Aida, Yuka Kawara, Namina Satonaka, Kana Sayo, and Tanya Lipinski, along with family members like parents and siblings. This page is about the Dreamcast game Kimiro Ukoku Vocal Collection, focusing on the character Kotori Haruno and sightseeing in Sapporo. It seems to be a dating simulation game where the player can explore Sapporo with Kotori. The game features a CBS communication break system where the timing of conversations is crucial and impacts the gameplay, influencing whether you can continue sightseeing with Kotori or end up exploring alone. The page introduces Kotori Haruno with her profile, a 16-year-old high school first-year student, 152 centimeters tall, weighing 42 kilograms, blood type O, Virgo, and her hobby is cooking. It also highlights a scenario in Otaru's Canal Art Museum where Kotori and the player can talk about glass crafts. Kotori seems to like glass products and finds them warm. The player can respond to Kotori's feelings about glass, and their reaction will influence Kotori's impression of them, leading to a dialogue choice. Kotori mentions that she isn't good at expressing her feelings, and she appreciates someone who understands her. This page is a feature on the character Ayu Kawahara from the Dreamcast game Kita-hi White Illumination. Ayu is described as a guide-like character in the game, a first-year high school student, 16 years old, 155 centimeters tall, and her hobby is karaoke. The page details an event in the game where the player can go to Sapporo with Ayu, visiting locations like the Susukino building, which is based on a real leisure building in Sapporo. There are mini-games to play, including a quiz game focused on Hokkaido trivia. The game also features karaoke events, where you can hear Ayu's voice actress singing. The page also discusses the opening song of Kita-hi, mentioning that it has a bright and positive feel, contrasting with the sometimes perceived darker image of the word north in the title. It highlights radio broadcasts featuring the game's music on Cultural Radio, Osaka ABC Radio, and Sapporo STV Radio. This page is a Dreamcast special report focusing on the character Sayu Hayaka. She is a high school student who runs a ramen shop called Hokkai Ken. The article discusses the mystery of her eye patch, suggesting it's not just for fashion, and hints at a hidden side to her personality that is revealed when she opens up. It mentions her interest in food research to revitalize the family business. Below this is a section introducing Satonaka Kozue, known as Yuki-chan, a PC communication idol. She is also a high school student and is described as being quite popular and wealthy, being driven around in a chauffeur-driven car. Her hobbies are games, PC communication, and cosplay. The article highlights her networker personality and being an otaku, who might appear in a Chinese dress. It also mentions she uses a mobile phone as a networking tool. This page introduces Shina Kayoru from the game To the North, White Illumination. She is described as a 24-year-old resident doctor who is often seen reading on a bench on the Hokkaido University campus. The article discusses how to get to know Kayoru, noting she has a sophisticated and calm demeanor, which can make her seem unapproachable. However, it suggests that if you can navigate conversations well, you can develop a relationship with her, possibly even to the point of going on drives in her Fiat Barchetta. Her hobbies are listed as driving and reading, and the page highlights the importance of conversation in understanding her inner feelings and advancing the relationship in the game. Screenshots show dialogue scenes and interactions with Kayoru in various locations, hinting at the game's focus on character interaction and relationship building. This page introduces Kita-e White Illumination, a romance-adventure game featuring Megumi Aida, a 15-year-old girl living on a farm in Hokkaido. Megumi is described as a cheerful girl who loves nature and helps on her family's farm, which they moved to Hokkaido from Tokyo to establish. The game features mini-games such as cow milking and cooking, and emphasizes spending quality time with Megumi, including dating events. There's also an announcement about the launch of a fan club for Kita-e on the web, offering exclusive content and chat events with voice actors scheduled, referencing a special chat event on December 22nd, featuring voice actors like Miss Sayuri Inoue and Miss Chika Chino. This page features character profiles for Tanya Lipinski and Yuko Sakurai-machi from the game Kita-e White Illumination. Tanya Lipinski is described as a 16-year-old glass craftsman from Russia, working at the Otaru Canal Art Museum. The text explores why she chose ski instead of skaya for her name ending. She dreams of creating a glass flower that resembles the Suzuran flower bathed in the red of the evening sun, a dream related to her father. There are sketches showing different expressions of Tanya, and text noting she usually has a stoic expression, but can smile beautifully, encouraging players to try and see her smile in the game. Yuko Sakurai-machi is a 20-year-old self-defense force officer. She is described as a cheerful older sister type who you meet in Sapporo. She works in the self-defense force to protect the country and takes players sightseeing around Lake Shikotsu and other places. The text mentions Chikotos Base as her base of operations, suggesting real-world locations are featured. The page highlights her knowledge of the self-defense force and hints that she is a multi-talented girlfriend type who can even speak English, wondering where this location is, and suggesting it might be a familiar place. There is mention that the government's dedicated aircraft is a Boeing 747-400 type, normally deployed at this base, with pilots and stewardesses, also from the self-defense force. This page from Dreamcast Magazine introduces a game called Kita-e, or To the North, which is set in Hokkaido. The article mentions the protagonist previously spent 2 weeks in Hokkaido during the summer and is now returning in winter. The game revolves around the Sapporo White Illumination event of 1998, described as electric art decorating the Sapporo night. It highlights the romantic atmosphere, stating that lovers who share a New Year's Eve kiss amidst the illuminations are promised eternal happiness. The page features screenshots of winter scenes and anime-style characters, hinting at a love story or romantic adventure set against the backdrop of the beautiful winter illuminations in Sapporo. The article also mentions that the illumination period is extended until 4 a.m. on December 23, 24 th, and 31 stone, and until February 11th in front of the station, while in Odori Park, it is until January 7th. The page emphasizes the art of light and the various light productions throughout Sapporo during the event. This page highlights the Kita-e White Illumination event. It mentions that from mid-November to mid-January, the park is like a jewelry box with white snow in the background. There's an illumination event happening on the night of the big day, with a countdown to midnight to celebrate the new year. The page also promotes an event called Kita-e Birthday Festival with voice actors. It is an event to celebrate the release of Kita-e, inviting everyone in Hokkaido. It details a voice actor talk show, noting that the dates are listed and the voice actors attending are chosen by lottery from those who purchased the game. The event includes 2 meals, and the fee includes round-trip airfare, accommodation, talk show participation, and insurance. The participation fee is 47,000 yen. 2 event periods are listed. The first group from February 20th to 21 stone, and the second group from February 27th to 28th. The voice actors participating are listed with their character names for both event groups, including names like Aya Hisakawa, Mayumi Izuka, Satsuki Yukino, and others. This page features a special Dreamcast report for the game Space Griffon, also known as Suku no Kihei in Japanese, meaning Steel Cavalry Soldier. Developed by Panther Software, this real-time action shooting game is slated for a spring 1999 release. The price is still undecided, but it is known to support network communication features. The text describes Space Griffon as a 3D action RPG that gained popularity on the PlayStation with its stunning mech graphics and detailed world setting. This SF epic title is coming to Dreamcast, described as a high-spec machine, promising an in-depth introduction to the DC version's appeal. Screenshots show gameplay with mechs in action and user interface elements. Smaller images at the bottom showcase in-game perspectives with health and weapon gauges. This page showcases the Dreamcast version of Space Griffon VF9, a completely new title built to fully utilize the Dreamcast's capabilities. It highlights that this version inherits the system from the PlayStation original. The page emphasizes features like battle mode and viewpoint switching. The article describes gameplay where players engage in combat, target enemies, and switch viewpoints strategically. Screenshots display intense mech battles with explosions and a clear combat interface, referencing Combat Assault Troop, possibly as an in-game element. The image also features anime-style artwork of a couple in a romantic pose. This page introduces the main characters of the Dreamcast game, Blue Stinger. The game's story unfolds in an underground setting, a human drama sparked by an accident at the lunar research facility, Hamlet. Megacorporation Max Factories dispatches its private military force AMC to resolve the situation. The focus is on the drama between the characters during event scenes between battles. The page highlights two main characters: Mary Lakewood, a 17-year-old high school student dreaming of becoming a scholar who gets caught up in the incident while troubled about her future, and Jim Villington, a 19-year-old rookie AMC member and pilot of the experimental aircraft Griffon with the codename Key ID, who is cheerful but prone to stress. The page also describes a scene where Mary comforts a despondent Jim, who is regretting his weakness after the death of his captain, showing the emotional depth of the game. Jim is shown to be resolved to protect Mary. The game promises to depict sorrow, conflict, and love with beautiful visuals in its event scenes. This page introduces characters from the mech combat game Space Griffon. It details three individuals: Maria Hansfeld, a beautiful but short-tempered and skilled veteran pilot of the AMC, age 25; Frances Lakewood, a 26-year-old former bacteriology and physiology instructor and sister of Mary, finds herself caught in a viral outbreak. Lastly, Mark Smiley, age 26, a former private detective with athletic prowess and cooking skills, is also impacted by the spreading virus. The page includes screenshots depicting scenes from the game showcasing these characters in what appears to be a base under siege, emphasizing the dramatic story involving a dangerous virus and the interpersonal relationships of the protagonists within the world of Space Griffon. This page is a feature on mecha units for an upcoming game, showcasing different variable fighters. The first machine detailed is the AMAX VF9 Griffon System Test Head, a next-generation VF developed by AMAX Company. This machine boasts 3 transformation modes: cruise for high-speed movement, assault for combat and high-speed movement, and combat for battle in a 2-legged walking form. The combat mode is described as slower but more powerful for combat, while cruise is the fastest. It also features conformed array armor, giving it superior defense compared to even Avengers. Next is the Eurotech LVF-5C Milan C Works version, an original VF based on Eurotech's Maranta type, modified by Maria, and thoroughly customized with Milan-made parts. Lastly, the AVTG MLVF-4D Viper is introduced as a best-selling LRVF born from a joint project by AVT and GM. It features a hovering unit and is noted as Smiley's exclusive machine, emphasizing its agility and maneuverability. The text mentions that the 6 members of AMC each pilot their own dedicated VF machines, implying these are player-controlled units in the game. This page is about enemy robots from the game Space Griffon. It introduces different robot types, starting with the AMAX HVF-8B Avenger Commander version, which is designed for command roles with enhanced information gathering, boasting sensors and antennas for rapid communication. Next is the AMA-X HVF-8BS Avenger Strike version, a custom machine with a co-pilot and gunner seat removed and equipped with a 200mm gun launcher. Finally, the AMA-X HVF-8BA Avenger Artillery version is a rear support custom Avenger with a power unit moved to the front and 2 large beam cannons. The page then describes different categories of robots. Autonoid are fully autonomous AI combat robots that act and attack enemies on their own. Guard Robo are unmanned robots used for base security and are designed to quickly capture intruders, relying on external computers for judgment. Manned machines are military weapons piloted by soldiers such as power suits and VFs, and the reason for soldiers and AMCs on lunar bases is currently unclear, possibly due to accidents. Lastly, the Strike Wyvern is presented as the current standard VF-7 Wyvern enhanced model, recognized for its high performance and serving as the base for VF-9, though it lacks cruise mode transformation. This page is a preview for the Dreamcast game Evolution, The World of Sacred Device. The article focuses on the 8th Empire's arrival at Panem Harbor. It details how a large Imperial patrol ship has landed in the port of Panem Harbor, in the Republic of North Slop, creating a strange atmosphere. The investigation team, led by Special Service Commander Eugen Luitpold Crown Prince, aims to find the legendary cipher frame Evolution, which they believe is located in North Slop. Screenshots showcase scenes within the game, including the massive patrol ship docked in the harbor, characters being transported by gondola inside the ship, soldiers patrolling the ship's interior, and a room where soldiers are playing a table game. The article also features voices of concern from Panem Town residents, represented by characters named Mag Launcher and Melon, who express unease about the Empire's sudden arrival and military presence. Another section labeled Top Secret hints at gameplay elements, suggesting players can explore unguarded Imperial officer rooms and even peek at personal items. A screenshot shows a scene inside an officer's room with a chess game. Finally, a special news section mentions a playable demo version of Evolution, available in mid-January 1999, and a related present campaign. This Dreamcast Magazine preview, December 25, 1998, covers the RPG Evolution to Far Eaton. The main article, Mag Launcher Meeting with Prince Eugen, details adventurer Mag Launcher's encounter with Prince Eugen, who requests his cooperation in an archaeological investigation for Evolution. Mag refuses, opting for independent research. The Empire is deploying significant resources to control ruins, shifting away from relying on individual adventurers. The preview highlights Prince Eugen's rude demeanor towards Mag and Lilunia, the Empire's intense focus on finding Evolution, and the mystery surrounding Mag's father's potential knowledge of it. Gossip suggests Prince Eugen has an unusual and potentially sinister interest in Lysania. Introduced characters include Rodriguez-san, a traitor worried about Imperial Army impacts, and Kerry-me-san, a student infatuated with the prince. The preview also teases a Linia's secret scoop in the next issue. Linia Cannon is the mysterious heroine of the Japan-only Sega Saturn RPG, Linear Phase Fuji no Nero. Despite her enigmatic nature, she is skilled in housework and cooking, mirroring her in-game combat style where she wields a frying pan. Live time. Lithinia possesses a unique, almost divine power to revitalize plants, showcasing her gentle and kind personality, particularly towards flowers and children. Her name is derived from gliding artillery. Her birthday is February 3rd, and she is around 17 years old. In battle, Lysania is a crucial support character, adept at healing allies and curing status ailments. The game features a sealed tone mechanic which can disrupt enemy actions. Screenshots highlight Linia and other characters like Mag and Gray, confirming their roles within this Saturn RPG's combat system. The next page introduces the game Eternal Arcadia, which was released internationally as Skies of Arcadia. This page focuses on the character Lysania and the battles surrounding her. It seems Lysania is desired by both Prince Eugen and Mag Launcher, creating a conflict. The page highlights Linia's dream of marrying a prince. There's a section detailing Linia's life in a large ranch house with a bedroom, and her love for stuffed animals, especially when sleeping. Mag Launcher is quoted as saying he also loves stuffed animals. The page also introduces new skills for Linia. Osaki ni Daozo, after you, involves switching positions with an ally. Moshi Moshi Linia, hello hello Linia, heals the status ailments of an ally. Hyofu no Nero, tone of terror, A powerful sound attack to defeat enemies. Kiai wo ageru, raise fighting spirit. Increases FP for an ally. Mina Sukiri. Everyone refreshed. Restores status ailments for all allies. The page includes screenshots showcasing these skills in action during battles. Panam Town Trends highlights Pepper's arrival, presented in episodes. Episode 1 details Mag conquering dungeons for Sociate, primarily to pay debts. Episode 2 introduces the 8th Imperial Army, inquiring about Evalarcia ruins, leading Mag to become their enemy under Eugen's orders. Episode 3 describes Panam Town's residents, cheering the arrival of a delayed regular ship, coinciding with rumors of the captivating Pepper. Pepper is known for her bewitching charm and flirtatious nature, captivating Sociate's male employees. She possesses a bright personality and unique conversational style, recognized as a celebrity, and forms a comedic duo with Mag, jokingly called Chain of Poison Tongue's wife. Pepper's appearance brings town changes. Item shops are updated. Sociate no longer offers ruin exploration quests due to sealed-off ruins, and Pepper becomes the central topic in pubs. Townspeople's reactions shift after meeting her, triggering special events, and even the pub waitress falls under her charm. This preview introduces Pepper, a Dreamcast adventurer utilizing Mora Solny Psyframes for shooting combat. She explores ruins and dungeons, employing skills like all-range shot for screen-wide damage, Ice Beam to freeze single targets, Neba Bullet for paralysis and movement restriction, Frost Shield to reduce damage, and Freezing Tempest, her ultimate ice attack. The game's story hints at the Imperial Army's pursuit of a secret weapon, the Evolusia Psyframe, and the Evolusia Search Detector. Character Eugen is shown plotting to obtain Evolusia using the detector, suggesting a narrative centered on secret weapons and power struggles. This page previews the exciting versus action game Power Stone for the Dreamcast. It's described as a total natural color 3D adventure action game set in a world of adventure and romance. The game focuses on transformation and grabbing actions within its core system, allowing for diverse gameplay. The game uses a simple control scheme with punch, kick, and jump buttons. Screenshots showcase the 3D environments and action. The preview introduces two characters. Edward Fokker, a righteous British gentleman and pilot who transforms and uses rockets in battle, and Ayame, a lively and cheerful dancer from Oedo who searches for power stones and fights with nimble movements. Two stages are highlighted. London, depicted as European streets with cafes and fountains, and Oedo, a Japanese town setting with bamboo ceilings and unexpected elements. Power Stone is slated for release this winter and is also planned for arcade release on the NAOMI system. It is mentioned as a Capcom vs. action game for 12 players. The next page introduces Power Stone, a game about collecting power stones to transform your character and unleash powerful attacks. The page explains the core mechanics. Players start with one power stone each, and a third appears randomly in the stage. Collecting 3 power stones allows your character to transform and gain enhanced abilities. There are 2 types of special attacks. Power Drive. Power Drive moves are activated by punch or kick buttons and are character-specific special moves. Power Fusion moves are even more powerful, requiring a punch, kick, and jump button combination while transformed. These are considered ultimate moves, but shorten the transformation time. The page highlights 2 characters. Wantan, a kung fu master seeking a legendary treasure ball, whose special move is the Dragon Fang Bullet, and Gunrock, a large miner who transforms into a golden rock man, with a move called Rock the Crash. 2 stages are also introduced. The Chinese restaurant stage, Tong'an, featuring interactive elements like tables and hanging lights, and the coal mine stage, Duan Volta, a hazardous environment with conveyor belts and molten furnaces. This page is about the Dreamcast game Power Stone, highlighting gameplay mechanics and introducing 2 characters. It details how players can pick up items from treasure chests within stages by pressing punch and kick simultaneously, with items ranging from swords and bazookas to hammers, providing varied attack options and effects. Another core mechanic described is throwing opponents, also achieved by pressing punch and kick together when close to an enemy, emphasizing strategic combat. The page introduces 2 characters, Jack and Galuda, as part of an 8 main characters check. Jack is described as a beautiful jewel thief obsessed with obtaining power stones, with an unknown age and gender, and transforms into a puppet-like figure. Galuda is introduced as a spirited Indian who protects his village from a plague, seeking the Power Stone to fulfill any wish. Possessing high intelligence and powerful throwing techniques. Screenshots demonstrate item usage like bazookas and hammer attacks, along with the character Ayame throwing an opponent. Stage examples shown are Shopping Mall in Manchus and Western-style bar in Dullstown. This page is all about the Dreamcast game Power Stone. It highlights gameplay mechanics like grabbing onto pillars and holding boxes and barrels by pressing the punch and kick buttons simultaneously. It mentions that after transformation, all characters can use pillars. The page also introduces two characters, Rouge, described as a wandering fortune teller who controls fire, and Ryoma, a samurai known as the Kirin swordsman. It further describes the power drive mechanic and showcases two stages, Mahdad, a Middle Eastern castle, and Mutsu, a Japanese house in severe winter. Finally, it encourages readers to check out the game's official website. This page introduces the action RPG Sengoku Turb, a Dreamcast title from NEC Home Electronics, slated for release on January 14, 1999. Priced at 5,800 yen. The game promises a unique world and slightly dark human-like characters, focusing on connecting individual elements to tell the story of Sengoku Turb. The preview highlights Episode 01, Visitor, detailing the initial scenario where the protagonist, a space wanderer, crash lands on the planet Ryodon Wakusei in the Turb world. This world is in the midst of a fierce war between cats and another faction. The protagonist encounters the Cat King and is asked to become the commander of the cat army. The page features a drama scene where players are presented with a choice: become the leader of the cat army or refuse. Accepting the offer rewards the player with 2 cat soldier units, while refusing still leads to deployment with 2 units based on the unfolding events. Screenshots illustrate scenes from this episode, including dialogue and character interactions in the vibrant, stylized world of Sengoku Turb. The next page showcases 2 episodes related to the Dreamcast game Nappletail. Arcasia in Daydream. Episode 02, Yummy Poison Fly, details a scenario where the protagonist, Jino-chan, who is a hero in Neko country, captures a fairy. The king's jealous sisters appear, and then Princess Gelsomina demands the fairy be returned, claiming it as hers. The page explains that these fairy-like creatures can be eaten to restore stamina and have medicinal properties. The player is given a choice: return the fairy to Gelsomina, keep it for themselves, or release it. Episode 03, Kuma Neko Converter, introduces a device used in the game to convert Kuma, bears, and Usagi, rabbits, into Neko soldiers. Jino-chan learns about this from Neko generals via a wireless device. The Kuma Neko Converter, however, can sometimes fail, resulting in creatures called Deki Sokonai, which are imperfect beings who can't harm Jino-chan. The screenshots depict the conversion process and the outcomes, both success and failure. This page showcases Episode 04 and 05 of a game. Episode 04, titled Song 4 Music Sound Of, introduces Bonbo, a mysterious artist who Jo-chan encounters in a forest. Bonbo is seen conducting monks with a baton, creating a strange atmosphere. Alice B., the boss of the sheep army, makes her debut with a grand stage and backup dancers, immediately breaking into a wild dance performance. Episode 05, Culture Center, focuses on Jo-chan discovering the giant research institute of the Sheep Doctor after her battle with Alice B. The Sheep Doctor studies ancient ruins on planet Ryonsei and communicates through a ventriloquist doll. Through the Sheep Doctor's words, Jo-chan learns about unusual ruins on Ryonsei, different from what one might expect. The next page is dedicated to the Turb Antenna Holders fan page, named Jinotai, for the game Battle Turb. This fan page is seeking contributions from readers. It's encouraging fans of Battle Turb to submit various types of content. There are several submission categories outlined, including fan calls for different characters from Battle Turb, reports of discovering Turb World elements in real life, dream stories related to the game's world, stories about silly mistakes made while playing, and ideas for ultimate weapons to be used in the game. They are also soliciting color illustrations related to Battle Turb and ideas for new Turb goods. Successful submissions will receive a Kuma keyholder as a gift. The page seems to be a call to action for fans to actively participate in creating content for this Battle Turb fan community page. This page is dedicated to Sega Rally 2, and it's excitedly announcing the first look at the game's communication battle mode. The page reveals the release date as January 14, 1999, with a price of 5,800 yen for this racing title. It highlights key features, including competitive play, online versus battles, and compatibility with racing controllers. The page also mentions it's still in development and gauges the completion progress. This page is all about the exciting network battle mode in Sega Rally 2 on Dreamcast, highlighting that up to 4 players can race against each other online. The article emphasizes the impressive quality of the visuals even in network battles, stating they are almost indistinguishable from the standard single-player mode. Screenshots showcase the in-game view with multiple cars and player names displayed above each car during a network race. There is also an interview section titled DC version Sega Rally 2 Current Status and Future with producer Jun Taniguchi. Taniguchi discusses the game's development, focusing on balancing and fine-tuning aspects like car settings and visual details such as signage placement. He mentions that development was in its final stages and focused on ensuring a quality experience. He also touches on the Dreamcast original elements being added, such as more car types and additional courses. The interview confirms the inclusion of approximately 20 car types and new courses beyond the arcade version, including 10-year championship mode with season-based races. He also details weather and time changes as a dynamic element in races, adding to the replayability. The next page is all about the network battle mode in Sega Rally 2 on Dreamcast, showing off the network battle screen. It highlights how you can connect your Dreamcast via phone line to Sega's server to enjoy online races with up to 4 players across Japan. It mentions features like pre-race briefings and post-race communication, making it more than just racing for speed, but a touring experience. The page also explains the cost structure for online play, detailing the charges for using the data-on-demand service during different times of the day, with off-peak hours being cheaper. It also features an interview section discussing game balance, tuning versus setting, and the team chat features available before and after races in the online lobby. This page describes the online multiplayer flow for Sega Rally Championship 2. It breaks down the process into 4 key steps: connecting to the server, pre-race chat for introductions and setting race conditions, the race starts, and post-race chat for sharing impressions and planning future races. The page emphasizes the chat functionality, both before and after races, and suggests using a keyboard for easier communication. There is an interview section discussing the improvements in online play compared to the Saturn version of Sega Rally, and pointing to Segarely.com as a community hub for organizing races. Finally, it announces the release date for Sega Rally 2 as January 8th, and expresses excitement for players to enjoy the game and create their own unique playstyles. This page showcases an article about the game Climax Landers, an RPG developed by Sega for the Dreamcast. The game is set for release on February 25, 1999, and will retail for 5,800 yen, compatible with the VM. The article mentions that this is the latest information on Landers from 1998, focusing on the battle system and the Japanese art style. It mentions the Fuji viewing town piece and the character's yogurt-like courage. There is a screenshot showing in-game characters and environments. The text in the side box encourages the reader to turn to the next page for more information about upcoming developments, teasing surprises, and unpredictable content. This preview article for the Sega Saturn game, The Emblem of Gadius, titled Seasoned Warrior Sword, What is the Reason for Asking for Help?, introduces the story and characters. Ryo, a villager from a peaceful forest, seeks help from Sword, a hero, though hesitantly. The world is embroiled in endless war, and a dangerous phantom zone, a realm of soldiers' grudges, has emerged. Ryo has been fighting in this zone, and now needs Sword's power to defeat the demon king of the otherworld, who is gathering there. The article questions Ryo's motives and the danger he faces. Sword's emblem is highlighted as an item of interest to Ryo, hinting at a possible secret. Screenshots illustrate character interactions and the Phantom Zone, described as a hellish, foggy, and ominous environment populated by vengeful spirits. This page features the game Fujimicho Peace-da, which translates to Fujimi Town is Peace. It introduces the game as being set in early 1980s Japan, contrasting it with typical fantasy or sci-fi game worlds, and focusing on a more normal Japanese setting. The page showcases character portraits, including the Tanaka family, Father Kenzo, Mother Mikio, eldest son Masaru, and younger son Takeshi, described as a typical Japanese family. It also introduces Yoshikawa Yoko, characterized as someone who loves mysteries and has excellent information gathering skills, and Kawamura Shintaro, described as a salesman for OA equipment and business negotiations. Game screenshots depict a mosaic-style world, highlighting the ordinary town setting and characters interacting within it. The text questions how this ordinary family will play a role in the mosaic world. It also notes a dilapidated building between the Tanaka house and a convenience store, suggesting potential mystery or intrigue within this seemingly mundane environment. This page showcases the Happy Store, which is the name of a convenience store run by the Yamada family. We are introduced to the family members: Father Yamada Jiro, Mother Yamada Fusae, eldest son Yamada Ichirota, and eldest daughter Yamada Akane. The page seems to be previewing a game where the Yamada family runs this store. Screenshots show in-game dialogue with characters like Yamada Akane and Yamada Fusae discussing exam studies and the nature of their world, suggesting a possible RPG or simulation element within a unique setting. Another character is Carpenter Daisaku, who appears to be a local figure. We also see regular customer Yanagawa Shunichi in the store. There's a section titled New Fact Discovery, highlighting yogurt and part-time job in a climax, with a mention of Sega's Onishi discovering a huge helmet as evidence. This points to potentially humorous or exaggerated gameplay elements related to yogurt and part-time work. Finally, Carpenter Daisaku is further described as an old-fashioned but reliable craftsman who is well regarded in the community. The page overall paints a picture of a game centered around the Yamada family's convenience store and the various quirky characters and situations they encounter. This page is an advertisement for the Dreamcast game Headhunter, initially advertised under the title Undercover. The advert, presented by Pulse Interactive with Sega, features a suspenseful scene with a gun and a blood-stained white shirt on a chair, hinting at the game's crime thriller genre. The page also lists key development staff. Story by Daisuke Ishizuka, character design by Kenichi Kutsugi, director by Yutaka Tone, production director by Masayasu Ishikawa, and music by Gozo Matsuo from Rhythm Media. This page is from the Reader Corner called Gurguru Powers. In a Dreamcast magazine, it is a Christmas special edition. Readers have submitted their Christmas-themed experiences and thoughts. In the first section, readers talk about their excitement for Christmas and share anecdotes. One mentions enjoying Virtua Zanmai, likely referring to playing Virtua Fighter or other Virtua games extensively, while another mentions being too busy playing games at home to do other things during Christmas. The next section is about Christmas and snow. Readers share their experiences with snow during Christmas time and mention enjoying orange juice, peach juice, and corn soup as Christmas treats. Someone mentions watching Titanic, possibly referencing the movie's popularity at the time, and another mentions crying after reading Dreamcast Magazine, showing reader engagement. Finally, there is a character introduction for a Sonic Feature Week 2, introducing the Uzumaki siblings and cat. Sister Hinata, brother Kashisuti, and cat Bubu. The cat is described as a dream cat breed and enjoys playing games. Overall, it's a light-hearted reader interaction page with a Christmas theme and a small nod to Sonic. This page is from the Uzumaki Spiral section of the magazine and covers various reader submissions and game discussions. In the digital business card section, there are discussions about the difficulty level of computer games generally being too high, especially on consoles like Saturn and PlayStation, considered next generation at the time. Another point raised is about computer game development, mentioning RPGs and simulations becoming less appealing due to complex manuals and excessively long playtime, suggesting a preference for simpler, more streamlined game experiences. The If We Could Meet in a Dream section features reader comments. One mentions Party Quiz MEGAQ, focusing on its presentation. Another submission talks about R-Type Delta as a shooting game. There's a request to bring a powered-up version of the Mega Drive game Gunstar Heroes to the Dreamcast. Neo Geo Pocket is also mentioned. Shining Force 3 is listed as a shooting game, which is likely an error, and refers to a different reader comment regarding shooting games. The Illustration Garden section showcases reader-submitted artwork based on the themes Kishin Sekai, Evolution, and Sengoku Turb. The Christmas Chow section features a cute Christmas-themed illustration of a KO character, likely from the upcoming Sonic Adventure game. Finally, the Sonic Adventure section highlights character illustrations from the recently released game, including Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Amy. There's a Casino Polis scene depicted, referencing a stage in Sonic Adventure, and another illustration showing Sonic running at high speed with Tails trying to keep up. This page is a fan submission corner titled Girls Gossip Corner, Big Sister's Secret. It features reader questions and artwork submissions related to video games, specifically Sonic Adventure. One question asks about the Guru powers in Sonic Adventure, and if the illustrations are by Ichi. The answer confirms that the illustrations are by Ichi, a popular artist, and mentions that there are over 1 million readers who have noticed this. Another question asks about the Christmas event in Sonic Adventure, White Christmas. The response suggests enjoying the Christmas event and mentions a Christmas night event on Christmas Eve. A final question asks about the Nyan Cat's Eye puzzle in Sonic Adventure, asking for clarification if there is a difference between the first and last Nyan Cat's Eye. The answer explains that the Nyan Cat's Eye is a puzzle that triggers happy memories of cats. Artwork submissions include drawings of Amy Rose, Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Big the Cat from Sonic Adventure. The artworks are attributed to different readers from various prefectures in Japan. The page generally highlights fan engagement and enthusiasm for Sonic Adventure. This page features a variety of content for Saturn and Dreamcast fans. At the top left, the Saturn Forest section collects fan letters, discussing topics like the anticipation for original Saturn titles and the bittersweet feeling of the Dreamcast's arrival impacting Saturn software prices. Moving to the right, there's a fun bonus Draw a Cat section showcasing reader-submitted cat illustrations from Chiba, Shizuoka, and Oita. The Unconfirmed Information Bureau, in the middle left, teases details about D2, mentioning Inuma Keiji as the final boss. The center of the page highlights Theater, Merry Christmas, with characters from Sakura Wars 2 like Rini and Sakura in a festive setting, presented as a Christmas gift to the fans from the Flower Troupe. Submission guidelines are provided for illustrations and text contributions at the bottom left. Finally, at the bottom right, there's a preview for the New Year's issue of Guru Powers, promising new characters and year-end greetings, alongside a prize draw for book vouchers and Dreamcast software, mentioning Balhark as a Santa figure in the public bath for some reason. This page is an advertisement for the official guide to Cybertrooper's Virtual Orion Oratorio Tangram. It highlights that this guide is aimed at players of all levels, from beginners to experts, and covers everything about the game. It details all 11 playable mecha, control methods, attack techniques, and basic strategies for CPU battles. It also mentions player character AJIM's actions and attacks are included, and features an interview with Virtual Elion producer Juro Watari. The guidebook is priced at 1,500 yen and is currently on sale, containing 224 pages. This magazine page, titled Bad Manners from the Weekly Reading Material Project, features an article called Weak Otaku, exploring why game otaku are seen as unpleasant or kimochi warui. It questions if this is due to poor communication skills, referencing a previous letter describing otaku as poor talkers. The article suggests everyone is somewhat kimochi warui, and that self-aware true otaku understand their garbage-like nature, using self-deprecation humorously, like Fukuoka Minoru. It warns against becoming eraser types, implying a need for sensitivity, and advises otaku to be proud yet perception-aware. The article also briefly connects SM enthusiasts' self-perception of proper sex to the concept of kimochi warui. A cartoon panel on the page seems to visually relate to these discussions about otaku identity and perception. This page features sections on year-end reflections and news, including the announcement of Biohazard trading cards. Several articles explore Japanese culture, including one series discussing ganguro fashion and its connection to the fish dish ganguro zuke, which is further detailed as a New Year's tradition in another article, even mentioning a related dream. Another article captures store clerks' initial reactions to the Dreamcast, with one comparing it unfavorably to a budget network terminal and expressing sales concerns, reminiscent of the 3DO. An article depicting the Dreamcast launch day at a store describes long customer lines, a quick sellout, and clerk optimism about its industry potential, despite competition from PlayStation and Nintendo 64. Dreamcast specifications like 640 by 480 resolution and memory details are noted. The page also profiles author Yoshiaki Shima, a former Akihabara store editor with experience in PC magazines, toy research, script writing, and author of books like Akihabara Connection. This page from the Something Yoshimatsu Theater section presents a comedic manga strip titled Otorosu Great Investigation Line. The strip begins with a humorous take on the awkwardness of playing games alone, illustrated by a Pikachu-like character. It introduces a new character named Dreamcast in an office setting. The manga continues to touch upon topics related to product shortages and gaming consoles, with humorous mentions of Mark II, Mega Drive, and CD-ROM systems. This page is a 1999 special calendar presented by Dreamcast Magazine. It showcases Dreamcast games planned for release each month. January features Sonic Adventure. February highlights Evolution, To Far Eden. March shows an image from Evolution and refers to turd scenery. April presents Climax Landers. May features Psychic Force 2012. June showcases Power Stone, described as a sturdy, natural color, three-dimensional adventure action game. This page is a January calendar page featuring artwork of Sonic from Sonic Adventure. The calendar lists the dates and days of the week in Japanese, noting January 1st as New Year's Day and January 15th as Coming of Age Day, with Sonic Adventure branding and copyright information for Sega Enterprises. This page is a February calendar page featuring an illustration from the Dreamcast game Evolution, The World of Sacred Device. The calendar highlights certain dates in red and includes the Japanese holiday National Foundation Day on February 11th. The artwork features characters from the game, and the copyright details mention Sega, ESP, and STING, indicating the developers and publishers involved. This page is a March calendar featuring characters from the game Sengoku Turb Fan. The calendar highlights Sundays and the Japanese holiday Vernal Equinox Day. The background art prominently displays the game title and a tagline that reads, "Love and courage, do as you like." This appears to be promotional material integrated into the magazine's calendar section for the month of March. Sengoku Turb Fan was released on the PC Engine and was not released internationally. This page is an April calendar featuring characters from the game Climax Landers. The calendar lists dates from the 1st to the 30th and highlights Sundays in red. The page has a logo for Climax Landers. This page is an advert for the game Psychic Force 2012. The page features key art from the game with characters in action poses. The top part of the page is a calendar for May. This page is a June calendar featuring the game Power Stone, a 3D fighting game. The calendar highlights Sundays in June and showcases characters from Power Stone around the game's logo. The Japanese text at the top announces it as all-natural color 3D fighting drama Power Stone. It's a Capcom game, as noted by the copyright at the bottom. This page shows the logo for Dreamcast Magazine and the Japanese text, quote, which also translates to Dreamcast Magazine. Below this, it states, January 8th and 15th issue special supplement, and the copyright information for 1999, SoftBank Corp. It appears to be the front cover page for a special edition of the magazine. This page is an advertisement for Perfect Guide strategy books. It highlights two guides, one for Super Robot Wars and another for Mobile Suit Gundam, Giran's Ambition. The Super Robot Wars guide boasts 296 all-color pages and covers games like Evangelion, Ideon, Gundam, Mazinger Z, Getter Robo, and Daytarn 3. It emphasizes comprehensive strategies for the game. The Mobile Suit Gundam Guide, with 168 pages, is also promoted as a perfect guidebook. Both guides are advertised as essential resources for players to master these strategy games. This page is a column titled, Single Bell, Bells Ringing, by Fumio Kurokawa. The author discusses the mood of the Christmas season in 1998 and the anticipation for the new year, 1999, particularly in the context of the game industry. He mentions the movie Armageddon as a recommended New Year's film. The column reflects on the game industry at the end of the year and looks forward to what the new year might bring for gaming. It's mentioned that Shenmue is Suzuki's latest work, and the author plans to write about his impressions of it in the first issue of the new year. The profile of Fumio Kurokawa at the bottom indicates he has a background in music and film, worked at Sega AM2 on the Virtua Fighter series, and is currently involved in promotional work at Marubeni, suggesting a role in game distribution. In 1998, the composer had a very busy year starting in January with Disneyland projects like Disco Tryout and game music for Luna 2 and Langrisser V. February saw the release of their Vent album and popular autograph sessions. March included more Tokyo Disneyland work, Viva Tokyo Disneyland, Thank You All, Disney video game music, and a Satamaga magazine corner. April was filled with Disney videos, Name Club music, Luna 2 inches animation music, and interviews. May featured voice recording for Luna 2 inches animations, stage performance music, and Tulu Love 2. June was focused on Saturn Luna 2 inches arrangements under deadline pressure. July and August involved routine work and slow progress. September picked up with Luna 2 and Luna 1-inch PC versions, 11th anniversary performance music, CM demo production, and Langrisser V mastering. October was for Grandia arrangements. November included Disney Countdown recording, new song openings, and demo production. December concluded the year with a busy final stretch, including an NHK opening theme. The composer described it as fulfilling due to support and is grateful. The page also features a My Style Game Music Composition lecture on RPG battle music, emphasizing exciting and inspiring themes to cheer on players. The composer from Matsumoto City, known for Grandia, Luna, and Langrisser, composes game, musical, stage, and Disney music. This page from GameSpot Japan is packed with gaming news and information. It highlights the Dreamcast as the latest hot hardware and promises in-depth coverage of its latest news. They are also covering the PlayStation and new titles for the system. There is a focus on the handheld gaming scene with a comparison between Game Boy, Neo Geo Pocket, and WonderSwan. The news section mentions several upcoming games including a romance RPG Sonata from T&E Soft, a vertical scrolling shooter from Psikyo featuring polygon-based mahjong with Yoshimoto Kogyo talents. There's also news about Dolphin Acrobatics on the Pocket Station, and the latest title in the EA theme series set in an aquarium, likely referring to Sim Theme Park. The page also covers major gaming events like the Tokyo Game Show and Tokyo Character Show, promising fast-paced internet reporting. A column section focuses on insightful articles about Japanese games and gaming culture, and a special section features interviews with famous game creators and in-depth spotlights on noteworthy titles. Finally, the page has a link section connecting to around 300 GameMaker homepages for further internet exploration. This page is an advert for the Puyo Puyo and Madu Monogatari card collection. These trading cards were released on July 23rd and are for fans of the popular puzzle games. The cards include character cards, event cards, big chain cards, illustration cards, and special cards, with over 120 different types to collect. The advert shows Arle Naja and a screenshot from a Puyo Puyo game, encouraging fans to purchase the cards. A pack of 10 cards costs 300 yen, and a box of 15 packs is 4,500 yen. This page is an advert for the Perfect Reference Guidebook for Super Robot Wars F and Super Robot Wars F Final Chapter on Sega Saturn. This strategy guide claims to have everything about both games in one 440-page volume and includes event flowcharts, complete pilot and unit data, spirit command combos, and a guide to complete the pilot and unit encyclopedia. The guide is currently on sale for 2,300 yen. The page highlights that this guide is essential for fully enjoying both games, featuring illustrations of robots from the series. This page is an advertisement for Webby Comics, which is highlighted as a digital comic anthology available online. Volume 1 of webcomics is advertised along with Cat Shit 1, Volume 1. The page mentions that various artists contribute to these comics, including Kia Asamiya, known for Silent Mobius, Yoshiki Takaya, creator of Bio Booster Armor Guyver, Kamui Fujiwara, Shunji Suzuki, and Motofumi Kobayashi, the creator of Cat Shit 1, promising a collection of CG comics from popular creators. This page is a questionnaire form from Dreamcast Magazine. It instructs readers on how to fill it out and asks for information on their gender, age, occupation, reading habits, and opinions on the current magazine issue. It also gathers data on the hardware they own or plan to buy, and their desired Dreamcast and Sega Saturn games from provided lists. The form includes lists of articles in this issue, hardware options, Dreamcast software titles, and Sega Saturn software titles to help readers answer the questions. This page is an advertisement for the Sega Saturn game, 6-inch My Darling. The ad describes a story about encountering 3 6-tall girls, named Etc., Pim, and Minty, during summer vacation. Spending 15 days with them, building trust, and helping them become human is the goal. The game is described as a heartwarming adventure, and includes training cards. Voice actors for the characters are listed as Ami Minami, Akiko Hiramatsu, and Yukari Tamura. The game is currently on sale for 5,800 yen. The next page is an advertisement for the Dreamcast game, Senkoku TRB. This advert promotes a pre-order campaign for the game, scheduled for release on January 14, 1999, with a retail price of 5,800 yen. The campaign offers a lottery for pre-order customers, where 10,000 lucky winners will receive a special Senkoku TRB pass holder. The page features an application form to pre-order and screenshots of the game. This page is an advertisement for the Dreamcast game Seventh Cross, a bioevolution simulation RPG by NEC. The advert features a dramatic image of a robotic character and the tagline, "I believe that your feeling in your heart will reach them." The text describes the game as using Dreamcast's image rendering to create a world and a survival of evolution scenario for players. A campaign is mentioned offering 1 million yen in prize money, and the game's retail price is listed as 5,800 yen. A website URL is also provided for more information. This page is an advertisement for the official fanbook of the soccer club management simulation game, J-League Pro Soccer Club, wo Tsukuru 2. The fanbook boasts information on over 100 clubs gathered from across the country. It includes club data, interviews with soccer players Kenichi Shimokawa and Tomoe Yamaguchi, developer interviews revealing insights into the game's creation, and a special feature documenting 10 years of gameplay. The fanbook is priced at 1,100 yen and contains 176 pages. This page is an advert for the Virtua Fighter 3 TB Perfect Guide for the Dreamcast. This strategy guidebook promises to fully explain the game, covering all characters' techniques, practical battle strategies, various combos, offensive and defensive tactics, and counterattacks after guarding, all broken down by character. It encourages Dreamcast owners to deepen their fighting game experience. The book is priced at 1,100 yen and is A5 size with 4 pages. The page also features character portraits, including Sarah, Jackie, Lion, Pi, Latu, Wolf, Jeffrey, Cage, Shun, Ashan, Abui, and Takarashi, as well as some in-game screenshots. The next page is an advertisement for the adventure simulation game Device Re-IGN, which was planned for release in spring 1999 for both PlayStation and Sega Saturn. The game's price is listed at 5,800 yen before tax. A pre-order campaign was underway, offering a character postcard set as a bonus to the first 10,000 customers who pre-ordered before January 15th. It also announces a comic adaptation of Device Reign in Dengeki HP Magazine, and mentions a related comic book by Ranma Kusunoki already on sale. Device Reign was a Japanly release. The next page showcases a preview of the Dreamcast game Blue Stinger. It's described as a Climax Graphics Company's debut action-adventure title, and this preview reveals the opening movie and detailed world setting. The story section details a giant meteorite impact 430 million to 65 million years ago, resulting in the dinosaur extinction and creating a crater in the Yucatan Peninsula. In the year 2000 years after the West calendar, a massive earthquake occurs near Yucatan, leading to the emergence of a small island from the seabed. This island, named Dinosaur Island, becomes the focal point of the game. The preview mentions the game is slated for release in March by Sega. The price is yet to be determined. It's a non-stop adventure game and is for one player only. The developers are showcasing the opening movie, highlighting the impressive graphics and sound quality, comparing it to a Hollywood movie. This page is about the game Dinosaur Island's Calamity. It's described as a movie demo showcasing the game's opening story, which Dreamcast Magazine has previously touched upon. The story begins with Elliot, who is enjoying fishing with his friend Tim on a boat near Dinosaur Island, a little away from the island's restricted waters. Suddenly, something falls from outside the atmosphere directly towards Dinosaur Island. Elliot feels something unusual and immediately tries to contact the island by radio. The page also describes Dinosaur Island itself. It is said to be near the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico, about 2 kilometers in diameter. The text mentions that it's a new island that emerged from the sea due to a large earthquake in the year 2000. At the time, plate tectonics theory suggested such an island shouldn't exist. The reason for the island's formation is still unexplained. The name Dinosaur Island comes from the crater's shape, resembling a dinosaur from space. The island is described as being in the middle of the crater, surrounded by earth, and resembling a ring. The article suggests this island might be related to the meteor that caused the extinction of dinosaurs 65 million years ago, known as the dinosaur killer. The article concludes by mentioning that the island could be related to a new kind of dinosaur and killer. This page previews the opening demo of the Dreamcast game, Blue Stinger. It highlights the initial scene where a mysterious sphere appears near Dinosaur Island, and when Elliot is on a boat, this sphere transforms into an entity called Nephilim which attacks the boat. The page showcases screenshots depicting Elliot communicating on the boat when the sphere appears, a close-up of Elliot with Nephilim, and a monstrous creature described as a flying dinosaur-type dinocyte attacking. It mentions Elliot is thrown into the sea, but survives and washes ashore. The article discusses the mystery of Nephilim's true form, stating that initially she appeared as a sphere of light emanating from Dinosaur Island, but upon approaching Elliot's boat, she copied the form of a figure that Tim possessed. It also shows Tim crafting a Happy Angel Nephilim model, suggesting that Nephilim's human-like appearance is derived from this figure. The screenshots further illustrate these points with images of the sphere of light, Nephilim's humanoid form, and Tim working on his model boat. The text confirms that the game is Blue Stinger, and the setting is Dinosaur Island, emphasizing the beginning of Elliot's adventure after being washed ashore. This preview for Dino Crisis showcases the cold storage section, following the supermarket area. It emphasizes adventure elements, including the first encounter with a giant dinocyte and branching paths. A key mechanic is the cold, represented by a gauge, leading to freezing damage and frozen doors which require a hot roller to thaw. Humanoid dinocytes are also present. The preview highlights the first boss battle, a giant dinocyte composed of frozen fish. This boss is strong, using tail swipes and causing blood loss, but can be defeated with normal weapons. Defeated enemies drop items, not money, as shown in a screenshot of Elliot victorious with an item attached to a dinocyte. This page discusses the game D2 and how a specific device influences gameplay progression. The game features branching paths based on temperature manipulation within the cold storage area. Players can adjust the temperature using a control console. In low temperature settings, the environment becomes dangerously cold with icy floors, requiring caution as if on a skating rink. In high temperature settings, conversely, the ice melts, creating pools of water, changing the gameplay. Players will suffer damage from both extreme cold and heat, impacting stamina. Escaping the cold storage leads to the city center, described as the next stage of the adventure, and close to the Rat's Bar, a known early objective in the game. The city environment is depicted with bright neon lights and bustling with people, contrasting the cold storage area. This page is an advert for the Sega Saturn game Girl Doll Toy, which is subtitled Fantastic Adventure. The tagline is, "Please give me a forbidden love." The advert presents Erica as the central character, referring to her as my toy, my doll, and my precious. It asks, will you fall in love with the cyborg Erica? The game is branded as a Cyberton skeleton model, and the ad mentions it is currently on sale and has an age rating of 18 years and over. Featured on the page are character artworks of Erica, along with characters named Shisaki, Sato, and Azami, each accompanied by small screenshots of in-game scenes. This page is a Dreamcast software complete guide showcasing Sonic and Cow characters dressed in Santa hats for a Christmas theme. It highlights upcoming features and articles in the magazine, including an in-depth strategy and an interview with Sonic Team. Featured games include Sonic Adventure, Seventh Cross, Godzilla Generations, and Incoming, Human Final Battle, each with corresponding page numbers for further details within the guide. This page is dedicated to Sonic Adventure. It announces the release of the Dreamcast game on December 23rd for 5,800 yen, highlighting it as an action game with VM compatibility. The page is part 1 of a thorough strategy guide focusing on the adventure mode. It mentions that this issue covers the beginning stages and gameplay tips for Sonic and Tails. Screenshots showcase the level's Emerald Coast, described as a resort area stage with a beautiful blue sea and white sand beach, and Windy Valley, depicted as mystic ruins with strong winds and tornadoes. The page also points to sections on KO's proper upbringing and a Sonic Team interview, both located on page 138. The checkpoints section focuses on using 6 characters effectively. Gameplay advice is provided for Sonic, suggesting to be conservative with homing attacks in narrow places, and for Tails, advising players to enter the green dash rings during flight to replenish flight time. This page is a strategy guide for the Dreamcast game Sonic Adventure, focusing on often overlooked points in the game manual. It highlights the use of the Y button to stop and pick up items, the ability to replenish air underwater by touching bubbles, and the relationship between animals and stages. The page also introduces the trial mode, encouraging players to challenge best scores, clear times, and ring collection counts. Character sections provide tips for Knuckles' glide, E102 Gamma's lock-on mechanic, Amy Rose's zero enemy encounter, and Big the Cat's fishing gameplay, advising players to get close to fish before casting. This page is a guide for the early stages of Sonic Adventure. It's titled Story Prologue Run Like This, and focuses on the beginning of the game with Sonic and Tails in Station Square. The page details the story, starting with Sonic encountering a monster in Station Square at night. The next morning, Sonic sees Tails' plane crashing on the beach and goes to help him. This is when Tails becomes playable. The guide then covers Emerald Coast, the first Sonic stage, highlighting the ocean setting and gameplay mechanics. It points to page 134 for further information about this stage. Another section talks about Tails in Station Square, explaining how he was testing a plane powered by a Chaos Emerald when it crashed, leading to Sonic's rescue. The Adventure Field section focuses on Station Square itself, mentioning various events within the area. It encourages players to talk to the people around Station Square for hints and information. There are sections detailing the Cow Garden in Station Square, mentioning that it can be found unexpectedly, and about cow eggs, which are found within the city after certain events. These eggs cannot be taken outside, but might contain rare cow if a puzzle is solved. The guide hints at picking up eggs and using switches to solve these puzzles. This page is part 1 of a guide focusing on the prelude of the story, likely for Sonic Adventure. It details the VS Eggman encounter, specifically the Egg Hornet boss fight. The page mentions obtaining the Winds Key as a check item. It then discusses transportation using the Go-Go Train to reach Mystic Ruins, described as an energetic ruins area. Windy Valley is also highlighted as a Sonic and Tails stage. The Adventure Field Mystic Ruins section emphasizes Mystic Ruins as an exploration area, mentioning an exploration squad within. The page notes that emblems can be found, and concludes by mentioning Station Square as the next location for further adventures. The guide appears to be walking players through the early stages of Sonic Adventure for Dreamcast. This page is a guide for Chapter 1 of Sonic Adventure, titled Emerald Coast, Beautiful Coast. It introduces Emerald Coast as the first stage in Sonic's adventure, designed to help players get used to Sonic's controls while enjoying the beautiful scenery. The goal of the level is to reach Tails. The page describes the enemies found in this stage, including Kiki, who throws bombs, Rhino Tank, and Sweep. It gives tips for defeating Chaos Zero from the prologue, advising players to move around Chaos, use jump, and homing attacks. For the Emerald Coast stage, the guide emphasizes the encounter with a giant shark called Cha-Cha, highlighting it as a major point of interest, showing the player can see both Sonic running and the shark chasing. This strategy guide for Sonic Adventure's Emerald Coast stage focuses on early exploration, starting with Point 1, advising players to run without jumping initially, utilizing a spring at the first bridge, and following rails for a loop. Point 2 emphasizes speed and body control on the beach, using the control stick to ride a purple enemy and utilize springs below for items, while being cautious of falling. Point 3 highlights 2 shortcuts, one on the left rock wall in the wave area, requiring momentum and the A button, and another in the vertical jump section, requiring a good landing. A 1-up is located in a cave, but players should avoid falling into the sea. Point 4 directs players who didn't take the shortcut to use numbered panels and jump repeatedly, then dash panels to the goal after the loop. Shortcut users will bypass these panels and springs, using dash panels for a quicker route to the sandy beach goal. The next page focuses on Sonic Adventure, breaking down 2 chapters of gameplay. Chapter 2 is titled Eggman Finally Appears, and introduces the boss fight against Egg Hornet. The page gives gameplay points for defeating Egg Hornet, advising players on missile attacks and dodging. Chapter 3, Windy Valley, is described as a Tails stage called Windy Valley, Windy Valley. The page details the stage's setting in a deep valley, with strong winds creating invisible paths, suggesting players should be bold and jump. It also notes that Tails might find this stage easier than Sonic. Enemy characters Leon and Boa Boa are introduced with descriptions of their attack patterns and how to defeat them. The Tails Play section highlights Tails' advantages in this stage due to his flying ability and suggests taking shortcut routes marked by rings, while warning players not to get carried away and fall. The page also promotes the dynamic camera in the game, stating it adds to the excitement and immersive feel of the stages. This strategy guide for Sonic Adventure's Windy Valley stage offers tips across 4 key points. Crossing the wind loop advises using air dashes for shortcuts, riding wind if falling, and spin dashing on the bridge before the tornado for a 1 UP. Proceed to the center of the Dragon Tornado explains that springs and trampolines within the tornado, combined with the updraft, make progression surprisingly safe. Brave the steep slope emphasizes minute control on the slope after the tornado and using the lever to adjust Sonic's direction. Finally, secure acceleration on panels details navigating donut-shaped magnetic barriers by aligning with the ring and boosting from the loop, followed by a spin dash before the vertical wall to maintain momentum. This page continues the Sonic Adventure special feature, titled Part 2, Playability and Highlights Are Here. It's an interview with producer Yuji Naka and main programmer Tetsu Katano of Sonic Team. The interview discusses the development process after the Master ROM was completed, and the feeling of relief and accomplishment. They reflect on the long development period and the process of refining the game. They mention the stages and level design, and how they rebuilt stages multiple times to reach the desired quality. They also talk about the network features of Sonic Adventure, highlighting the network is connected and absolutely invincible aspect. A screenshot showcases the Dreamcast Sonic Adventure Network menu, featuring options like update information, cow automatic nurturing, BBS, ranking, strategy hints, links, send mail, data registration, events, and a link to the Sonic Adventure homepage. The text emphasizes the potential of the network features, including future content updates such as seasonal events in Station Square, online strategy guides, and hints. They mention plans to enhance the network content from the beginning of next year. The interview also touches on the difficulty adjustment process, mentioning they consulted opinions, conducted consumer tests, and refined the game balance based on feedback. They highlight that even if Sonic takes damage, he can still be okay as long as he has rings. This interview with Sonic Adventure directors Takashi Iizuka and Kazuyuki Hoshino explores the game's diverse features. They emphasize player freedom, allowing enjoyment through speedruns, chow raising, or minigames. The design philosophy avoids restrictions, catering to varied playstyles beyond just action stages, with cow gardens adding depth and replayability. While some stages like Windy Valley present altitude challenges, the game represents Sonic's 3D evolution, focusing on fun and engagement. Emblems enhance the experience, and the robust action suggests potential online features. Screenshots showcase Windy Valley's jet coaster feel, Speed Highway's nighttime speed, Chow Garden's interactive raising, and the charming cow races. The interview promotes Sonic Adventure's depth and variety, highlighting both thrilling action and engaging cow elements. This page is all about raising cow in Sonic Adventure and making them as cute as possible. It's part 3 of a guide focusing on chow, with a special guest appearance from Piantian, described as a senior A-Life character. The page walks you through the basics, starting with finding careo eggs in the game. It shows you how to gently shake the egg to hatch the careo. The page then highlights the adorable actions your Cheo can perform, like crawling around, eating food, blowing a toy trumpet, jumping, and becoming even cuter when held by animals. Throughout the page, Pian offers one-point advice about the secrets within the A-Life system in Sonic Adventure and encourages players to raise their Cheo with love and care to make them happy and attached to the player. The overall message is to nurture your Cheo to be a good child. This page, part of a Sonic Adventure cow raising feature, focuses on chow care in the VMU version. It answers 5 key questions. Chow express desires to visit locations like desert or town, and you choose their destination. Cheer for Chow by pressing A when they are sad or fall. Chow grow stronger by eating fruit from outings and playing minigames. Fewer mistakes yield more fruit. Respond appropriately to Chow's messages, indicated on the VMU screen. If a bully appears, encourage Chow to fight back and heal them with food if hurt. The page also highlights Chao's cute expressions, happy, sad, surprised, and encourages players to raise them lovingly. It suggests further research is needed for optimal chow raising, and invites readers to send their questions and ideas about chow raising to Dreamcast Magazine's editorial department in Tokyo to help uncover chow raising mysteries. This page is focused on providing strategy information for the Dreamcast game 7th Cross Evolution, an RPG, set to be released on December 23rd. The guide concentrates on 2 specific areas within the game, and includes map details. The page is broken down to explain item effects, listing various items and their in-game benefits, like stat boosts or healing. It also details different parts of the player character, specifically head, arm, body, and leg parts, showcasing a variety of components such as origin, low fish, desert bone, sea worm, and many others, along with their stats and abilities. These parts seem to influence player attributes like WA, PR, CA, FI, HC, and impact abilities like INT, EAT, and DX. This strategy guide details the invertebrate area of the Sega Saturn game Enemy Zero, GMO in Japan. It advises players to use piercing and slashing attacks, as enemies are weak to these but resist fire, water, and wind. The guide provides item locations, evolution crystals, components, herbs, minerals, on MAP1, MAP2, and MAP3. MAP2 highlights a guardian creature and stone monuments. Creature data outlines enemy stats, HP, EVP, attacks, resistances, for microorganisms, crabs, sea slugs, starfish, water bugs, squids, and the guardian Ichimushi, which has a poisonous breath hindering EXPOWER recovery. Gameplay involves collecting microorganisms, avoiding crabs initially, evolving to origin, then hunting weaker creatures for experience. Crabs are initially more dangerous than guardian creatures. The next area requires leg parts to enter the sea and face new guardians. This page is a strategy guide for the fish area, the second area of the Dreamcast game, 7th Cross Evolution. The page provides maps of the area highlighting item locations, marked with numbered circles corresponding to an item list. The item list includes items like evolution crystals, crystal E, shells, seaweed, and various colored minerals. The guide notes that the enemies in this area are weak to dissolving and shooting attacks, and that having LV.4, sea worm, or LV.6, tube snake, arm parts, will make progression easier. It mentions a tough enemy called Kamasu, Barracuda, which has high HP. A section on attributes explains that enemies in 7th Cross Evolution have attributes, and exploiting weaknesses is crucial for combat. It suggests considering enemy attributes when choosing ARM parts and EXPOWER attacks, as using the wrong attributes can be ineffective or even detrimental. The screenshots show gameplay in the underwater fish area, depicting the player character battling fish-like enemies. This page showcases game information from a Dreamcast magazine, focusing on creature data and a contest. On the left side, MAP 4 inches displays a game map and details about creatures inhabiting this area. A table lists creatures like Kamasu, Hoke, Akae, Tatsuno Toshigo, Budai, and Manta, providing their HP, EVP, attack types, and elemental resistances. This section appears to be a guide to enemies encountered in MAP 4 inches of the game. The right side, titled MAP 5 and Something Creature and Neurodoctor Contest News, shows another map, MAP 5. It also announces a contest where players can design creatures and neurodoctors using level 30 parts from the game. The contest encourages creative entries for creature design, including naming them and adding episodes, potentially with illustrations. The Neurodoctor contest focuses on designing DNA chart patterns within a 10x10 grid using level 30 parts. The deadline for submissions is January 22, 1999. The next page is a feature on the Dreamcast game Godzilla Generations. It provides a detailed comparison of two playable characters, Heisei Godzilla and Mecha Godzilla, outlining their strengths and weaknesses in the game. For Heisei Godzilla, the page highlights its speed as being average among all monsters. Its fire breath is described as basic but effective at the keita of enemies, making it useful for combos. The ultimate move is a stronger version of the fire breath called Heat Ray, with a wider range and longer reach. Heisei Godzilla's tail attack is noted as its biggest advantage, allowing for 3 60-degree attacks by moving and swinging the tail, making it effective against many enemies. However, it is less powerful than other attacks and not suitable for destroying tougher objects. Mecha Godzilla, on the other hand, is described as slightly faster than Heisei Godzilla, although its movement may appear less fluid. Its fire breath is a beam weapon, fired from its eyes, effective against ground and air targets, similar in power to Heisei Godzilla's fire breath. Mecha Godzilla's ultimate move is described as a full-body bombardment, where it unleashes all its weapons at once, offering a wide attack range and high power. However, its tail attack is considered its biggest weakness, being short and not very useful for hitting ground-level enemies or destroying objects. Mechagodzilla compensates for this with a large cylindrical barrier for defense and offense, capable of destroying smaller objects and being effective against aerial attacks. This page is all about the Dreamcast game Godzilla Generations. It showcases 3 playable versions of Godzilla: the original Godzilla, Manila, and USA Godzilla. For each monster, there are details on their abilities like speed, fire breath, special move, and tail attack range, along with screenshots of them in action. The page seems to be comparing these different Godzilla types, highlighting how each plays and their unique strengths and weaknesses in the game. It emphasizes that while the original Godzilla might not be the strongest statistically, he still has a powerful nostalgic appeal for fans. Manila is described as still growing and somewhat weak, but with potential. USA Godzilla, on the other hand, is touted as incredibly powerful, with devastating attacks and speed, making him a force to be reckoned with. The page effectively previews the different gameplay experiences offered by choosing each of these iconic monsters. This strategy guide focuses on Yamashita Park, Area 1, in a Godzilla game. It recommends using tail attacks to efficiently destroy dense planted objects and achieve 100% destruction. For high-rise buildings, the guide advises targeting lower floors with atomic breath and tail attacks for maximum combo potential and score. Players should be prepared for G-force units like maser tanks and cold laser tanks, using building destruction to recover health while facing them. Hidden reader-submitted signboards are scattered in Yokohama and Yamashita Park for players to find and destroy. The Old Fans Corner features trailers of classic Godzilla movies like Godzilla vs. Destoroyah and King Kong vs. Godzilla, unlockable by completing Area 1, 1 trailer per completion. This page is about the Dreamcast game Godzilla Generations. It highlights Area 2, Minato Mirai area, set in Yokohama, where the player must destroy tall buildings one by one. The page emphasizes that this area features unique skyscrapers and offers high combo opportunities. A key point is the introduction of a new enemy, Super X2, equipped with a fire mirror. The article warns players to be cautious of Super X2's attacks, as its fire mirror can reflect Godzilla's atomic breath. The strategy suggested is to bait Super X2 into using its mirror, then attack when it's vulnerable. The page also previews Next Area, Tokyo, indicating the game's progression to Tokyo after Yokohama is cleared. Finally, there's a section titled Ask the Locals, featuring comments from a KOEI public relations representative. The representative mentions enjoying the game and particularly likes destroying the Intercontinental Hotel in Minato Mirai, emphasizing the fun of causing destruction in the game. They also mention that they enjoy the replay function and the satisfying feeling of defeating enemies. This page focuses on a special character in the game Godzilla Generations, specifically Giant Serizawa, who is related to Dr. Serizawa, the scientist who created the oxygen destroyer to defeat the original Godzilla. The page poses the question of how Dr. Serizawa, who was supposed to have died in the sea, has returned in this giant, monstrous form. It's revealed that Giant Serizawa is as large as a monster and intends to destroy Japanese cities. He possesses special attacks like beams, and fans are meant to be surprised by his appearance. The page highlights his eye patch beam attack, questioning if he has abandoned his humanity. This attack seems to be comparable to Godzilla's fire breath. The mystery of his giantification is discussed, showing images of the original Dr. Serizawa in diving gear with the oxygen destroyer. The page hints that the oxygen destroyer might be related to his transformation. To unlock Giant Serizawa as a playable character, you must clear the normal game mode in Generations, using either Heisei Godzilla or Mechagodzilla, the original Godzilla, USA Godzilla, or Manila. Finally, the page mentions that even when defeated, Giant Serizawa prioritizes protecting the oxygen destroyer until the very end, showcasing his dedication to the weapon, even in monster form. Screenshots show Giant Serizawa in gameplay. This page is dedicated to Akihiko Hirata, the actor known for playing Dr. Serizawa in the original 1954 Godzilla movie. It's a tribute in Dreamcast Magazine and is centered around the Dreamcast game Godzilla Generations. The page highlights the character Giant Hirata in the game, who seems to be based on Dr. Serizawa. The page details Giant Hirata's special moves, the Oxygen Destroyer Discharge, and Oxygen Destroyer Swing Around, explaining they are powerful attacks referencing Dr. Serizawa's invention. There's a story section summarizing the plot of the original Godzilla movie and the role of Dr. Serizawa and the Oxygen Destroyer. An interview-like Q&A section titled, Why? Giant Harada discusses the creation of Giant Harada in Godzilla Generations. It mentions that during development, various monsters were considered, but they decided to focus on Godzilla and incorporate elements from the original movie, including Dr. Serizawa. The developers wanted to include fan-favorite characters like Harada in the game, making it enjoyable for Godzilla fans. The interview also touches upon how Giant Harada is designed to be a fun and easy-to-use character in the game, developed with enjoyment and attention to detail by the staff. It's also mentioned that playing as Giant Harada changes the ending of the game, encouraging players to experience it. This page is a guide for Scenario 4 of the Dreamcast game Incoming Human Final Battle, released in Japan on December 17th and costing 5,800 yen. It's a shooting game supporting up to 2 players in versus mode. Scenario 4 focuses on protecting 4 space shuttles from alien attacks. The guide highlights that protecting the shuttles is more important than just defeating enemies to clear the scenario. The page includes a map of the shuttle launch site, showing shuttles A, B, C, and D on their launch pads, along with a vehicle depot, helipad, and a shuttle undergoing repair. It advises players to understand the location relationships of each facility. The guide mentions that the shuttle launch phases happen in phases 2, 4, 8, and 10, launching in order from Shuttle A. The article also discusses weapon utilization in the front line and the importance of speed and accurate shooting to protect the shuttles without damaging them. It briefly mentions alien light fighters appearing in phases 1 and 10 and suggests utilizing auxiliary weapons effectively. The guide compares the shuttle launch sequence to the movie Armageddon. This page offers a strategy guide for the initial phases, 1 to 3, of a combat-based Dreamcast game. Phase 1, with a single-star difficulty, features the Alien Light Fighter aircraft, recommending players utilize auxiliary weapons to easily win. The mission objective is to defend the shuttle. Phase 2, at 2-star difficulty, introduces the Comanche combat helicopter and emphasizes using different weapons for air and ground combat scenarios. Missions include destroying all enemy aircraft, dealing with enemy tank attacks, and finding and destroying enemy aircraft. Phase 3, with a 3-star difficulty, features the laser cannon vehicle. Here, the mission is again to defend the shuttle, but now against enemy tanks and bombers. The guide advises players to use lasers effectively and to avoid hitting the facilities with the laser cannon. It appears to be a general strategy guide focusing on different vehicle types and increasing mission difficulty across the initial stages of a combat action game on Dreamcast. This page provides tactics for game phases 4 to 6, specifically detailing phases 4, 5, and 6. Phase 4, Fire Extinguishing is Key, 2 stars. Involves extinguishing fires, recovering fighters, and destroying enemies, emphasizing speed and low altitude. Phase 5, Dogfight, 2 stars. Uses the Harrier to destroy approaching enemies and protect an A-10, advising sticking close to the A-10 due to numerous enemies. Phase 6, 3 stars. Focuses on guided missiles and laser cannons to protect a shuttle from enemy bombers, warning against laser cannons on ground targets and recommending missiles for bombers, using radar to find enemies. The page also describes the Harrier as a ground attack fighter used in Phase 5, advises monitoring the A-10 in Phase 5, and highlights the Eisenhower armored car's strong armor, suggesting players trust it. This strategy guide page details phases 7 through 10 of an action shooting game. Phase 7 requires quick elimination of Tank Group A to prevent base destruction, focusing on tanks in hangars and on land. Phase 8 advises understanding the dynamic battle situation with both air and ground enemies, alien attack equals enemy tank attack, instead of strictly following instructions, emphasizing destroying tanks, aliens, and ground enemies. Phase 9 highlights defending facilities and destroying bombers, noting Phase 2 instructions are relevant and the repair shuttle's destruction is acceptable. Phase 10, the final phase, warns of a mothership, advising players to clear smaller enemies first, before using 2 satellite laser hits to destroy it. Across all phases, strategic target prioritization and understanding enemy waves are key, supported by screenshots and enemy spawn maps. The next page is an advertisement for Yoyogi Animation Gakuen, an animation school, celebrating its 10th anniversary. The advert boasts a 99.01% employment rate for graduates and highlights its CG arts courses. It also mentions reduced tuition fees for the anniversary and various payment plans. The ad promotes an upcoming movie, Small Soldiers, with a December release in Japan. The school offers a range of courses, including animator, digital paint artist, manga comic professional, game graphic designer, voice talent, and many more, with multiple school locations listed across Japan and free auditions for voice actors being advertised. This page is the contents page for Sega Saturn Magazine, issue dated January 8th and 15th, 1999. It lists the featured articles in this issue, including a special report for the game With You Mitsumete Itai, and a Coming Soon Soft section highlighting Kiss Yori, Toryu Densetsu Elendor, Langrisser Tribute, and Super Pachinko Secret Album, Provisional. There is also a complete guide section for Sakura Wars Taigeki Graph. Other regular sections include Sega Saturn Magazine Data Station, Sega Saturn Reader Race, and Sega Saturn Software Review. The page features 2 anime-style characters and mentions copyright holders Cocktail Soft and NEC Interchannel. This page presents the Shop Data Top 10 Sega Saturn Software Sales Rankings, topped by Nogul 3, an adventure game selling 32,185 copies. Following in second and third are adventure game Yurikawa Iro no Yuki, 3,178 copies, and etc. genre game Yakyuken Sudokyoku Ensemble, 2,158 copies, respectively. The chart continues with titles like Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter, Find Love 2 Rhapsody, and Kidu Senshi Gundam Giran no Yabu. The ranking concludes with Winnie the Pooh, Winnie's Home Run Derby, at 9th, and Idol Janshi Tsuchipai Secret Album at 10th. Below the chart is a Sega Saturn release schedule outlining upcoming games such as Millennium Fire, Bandai, Device Reign, MediaWorks, and Dungeons & Dragons Collection, Capcom. Some titles with undecided release dates include Rockman 8, Metal Heroes, and J-League Pro Soccer Club, Wo Tsukuru. The schedule also lists Tech Story, Rudora, and other titles. The page provides further details on game prices, makers, genres, and controller compatibility for these upcoming releases. This page showcases the user data top 20 inches Sega Saturn games, highlighting anticipated new titles. In the Pickup Check Games section, 2 upcoming titles are previewed. First is With You, a romance adventure game from NEC Interchannel, which is noted as a port from PC with additional scenarios. The second highlighted game is Tsuchipai Secret Album, provisional title, a fan disc for the Tsuchipai series by Jaleco, promising graphics, setting materials, and mini-games for fans. The main feature is the top 20 ranking of Sega Saturn games based on user data. Sonic 3D Blast, Flicky's Island, is at number 1 with 331 points, followed by Virtua Fighter 3 and Dungeons & Dragons Collection. Other titles in the top 20 include Real Sound, Kaze no Regret, Friends, Glitter of Youth, Derby Stallion, Roommate W, Futari, Monster Maker, Huli Degar, and Tokimeki Memorial Drama Series Volume 3, Song of Departure, among others. Below the ranking, there are tables providing further details on games, listing release dates, prices, maker names, genres, and compatible devices. A calendar guide section explains the genre abbreviations and compatible device icons used in these tables, which include categories like action, RPG, shooting, adventure, simulation, sports, race, puzzle, and educational games. Compatible devices listed are racing controllers, mice, multi-terminals, analog sticks, and light guns, amongst others. This page showcases the reader's page for Weekly Sega Saturn Magazine, Volume 123, focusing on reader rankings for Sega Saturn games. It highlights the Reader's Race, which is a popularity ranking based on reader votes. The ranking table is prominently displayed, listing games with their ranks, titles, genres, and average scores. The page emphasizes that this is a reader participation project, where players vote and their opinions shape the rankings. It is stated that this ranking is based on all released Sega Saturn software as of December 25th, with a total of 1129 games available. The top section explains how the ranking system works, mentioning that readers evaluate games on a 10-point scale. The bottom right section is titled Odds Watch, Lowest Ranking Emperor, and features a discussion about which game will be at the very bottom of the ranking. It humorously suggests that while Sakura Wars 2 Feet is expected to be at the top, the real intrigue lies in guessing the lowest rated game. There is a small image with characters and speech bubbles discussing this lowest rank. The page is essentially a presentation of the Sega Saturn reader rankings, focusing on the concept of reader-driven game evaluation and the anticipation of both the top and bottom positions in the ranking. This page is a review section of a gaming magazine showcasing new Sega Saturn titles. First up is Zanma Chugi Valhallerian, a strategy RPG praised for its storyline, polygon character battles, and character variety, though the magazine's average score was surprisingly low compared to the overall average. Next is Etude Prologue Yureogoku Kokoro no Katachitachi, an adventure game focusing on human relationships in a high school setting, highlighting the character's emotional depth and voice acting. Then there's Motake, Tamago with Ganbare, Kamome no Hashi, an action party game celebrated for its cute characters and strategic gameplay for up to 4 players, with a unique point-based victory system. Finally, The Star Bowling Volume 2 is a bowling game where the voice acting stands out, but it's seen more as a fan-focused extra, with room for improvement in polish and content volume. The page also includes a ranking table, Odds Table Saturn B, listing various Saturn games with their genres and scores, featuring well-known titles like The Unsolved, Evangelion, Civilization, Puzzle Bobble, Steep Slope Slider, Discworld, Wizard's Harmony, Sonic R, and Deep Fear. This page is a ranking chart page called Oz Chart Saturn C for Sega Saturn games. It lists a large number of games ranked by popularity, with details like genre and average score. Some of the games near the top of the list include Cotton Boomerang, Sound Novel Tsukuru 2, The Tower, Predoral DIC Volume 4 Kuromi Raita, World Cup 98 France Road to Win, Sangokushi IV, Umihara Kawase, Mahjong Tournament Special, Tournament Leader, Fighting Illusion K1 Grand Prix Emblem of Justice, Rabbit, Detective Jinguji Saburo Unfinished Report, Winning Post 2, Vandal Hearts, King of the Spirits, and Gameware Volume 4. The list continues, with many more titles spanning various genres, like shooting, RPG, action, adventure, and puzzle games, providing a broad overview of popular Sega Saturn games in Japan at the time. Darius Gaiden for Sega Saturn is reviewed as a highly recommended game with exceptional replay value and enjoyable, relaxing gameplay. Praised for its balanced challenge, similar to Rayforce, Layer Section, the game offers tense yet engaging gameplay, accessible to even novice shooting game players. Strategic elements like powering down to target weak points are appreciated, alongside psychedelic visuals and a unique ocean theme in graphics, sound, and effects. Reader comments acclaim it as the best Darius title, a perfect and enduring Saturn arcade port. Developers convey gratitude for the positive reception, inviting players to revisit the Darius Star and engage with its world. This page showcases upcoming game previews and reader feedback for Sega Saturn and Dreamcast titles. Ruri Iro no Yuki, Lapis Lazuli Colored Snow, an adventure game, is reviewed positively for its story and characters, though criticized for long load times. NOEL 3 Inches, another adventure title, is praised for its graphics and networking features, despite some gameplay system complexity. Yukyu Gensukyoku Ensemble, Eternal Fantasy Ensemble, a trading card simulation, is recommended for fans of the series. There's also a reader survey section focused on Dreamcast, asking readers to predict the ranking of Sega Rally 2 and the odds for a game called Sensu Turb, which is likely meant to be Senju no Wolf, Commando, for a chance to win prizes. Prizes include a Dreamcast arcade stick, visual memory unit, and a game of choice. A peripheral ranking list for Sega Saturn is present, but not detailed. The next page is an advertisement for the Sakura Wars Song Review Show, Second Flower Troop Special Performance, Tsubasa Production Photo Diary, Provisional. This is a photo book capturing Hiroi Oji's stage performance. It's planned for release in mid-January, priced at 2,500 yen, excluding tax, for a B5 size, 128-page book. The advert mentions that this photo book documents the second Sakura Wars summer event, held at the Shinjuku Kosei Nenkin Kaikan, and features photos focusing on Hiroi Oji and the stage, plus essays. At the bottom are adverts for Sakura Wars 2 Original Picture and Setting Material Collection, and Sakura Wars OVA Fanbook Series, with details on pricing and page counts for each volume. This page is a special report for the game With You Mitsumete Itai, likely just called With You in English. It highlights the upcoming Dreamcast port of this heartful love story, which was originally a PC game. The text describes it as a love story focusing on the bonds and wavering feelings of three childhood friends during their 17th summer. It emphasizes the warm and sometimes poignant developments in the story and mentions it was highly praised by PC users upon its initial release in September and is now coming to the Dreamcast. Two female characters are prominently featured in the image, representative of the game's characters. This page is about the romance-adventure game With You from NEC Interchannel. The feature introduces the story, which centers on the protagonist and his childhood friends, Manami Naruse and Nao Hikawa. Manami, who moved away 6 years prior, returns, setting the stage for the narrative. Initially, it seems like their relationships will remain unchanged, but as they spend time together, the protagonist starts to realize his feelings for Namio, which were dormant since childhood, are evolving and shifting in his heart. The game is categorized as a romance adventure, and at the time of this magazine, the release date and price were still undecided, but it is intended for all ages. This page focuses on the visual novel adventure game featuring the character Naruse Manami. The page presents a prologue setting the scene with a boy and his childhood friend Manami, who is also his first love, along with another childhood friend named Sanae. It describes the boy's promise to protect Manami. The page then jumps forward 6 years from that day and describes the boy now in high school, reflecting on how his feelings for Manami are changing. The main character, Naruse Manami, is profiled, detailing her personality as gentle and thoughtful, but also somewhat introverted and prone to self-blame. Her backstory reveals she was the protagonist's first love from kindergarten, but moved away 6 years prior due to her parents' work, and is now returning to her hometown. The text in the bottom left bubble discusses rekindled feelings and the changing relationship between the characters. The page highlights the emotional and character-driven aspects of this visual novel. This page introduces Nanami Naruse, a character with stats including height 158 centimeters, 3 sizes B80W, 55H83, and blood type AB. The page mentions she is going to St. Lucia Academy, and by chance is in the same class as the reader, depicting her as a girl with straight long hair, usually styled with braids at school. It asks the reader which hairstyle they prefer. The page also presents the town of Sakuramicho, described as a pleasant town near Yokohama, Kanagawa Prefecture, with views of the sea and convenient access to Yokohama by train in about 30 minutes. It highlights Sakuramicho Station as a redeveloped area with fashion stores and large-screen televisions. Locations within Sakuramicho are featured, starting with the Romlet Coffee Shop, a long-established establishment popular with the main character and known for its piano and cheese omelet. The Sakurami shopping street is described with a nostalgic atmosphere, with shops like Romlet, bars, and greengrocers. Jitoku Inari Shrine and Old Jitoku Inari Shrine are also mentioned as local spots, with the Old Jitoku Inari Shrine being a secluded place known to few. This page introduces Naori Hikawa, a character from what seems to be a Dreamcast adventure game, likely related to the series Nanakoi. Naori is depicted as a kind and cheerful kindergarten teacher at Hikawa Kindergarten, loved by children. The page details her personality as bright, slightly bossy, and caring, like an older sister figure. It also mentions her family background. Her father is a shrine priest, and her mother is a kindergarten teacher. The game system is described as simple and text-based, focusing on story progression driven by player choices and voice acting. The romance options in the game are stated to be limited to only 2 characters, Makoto Shinohara and Naori herself. The screenshots showcase in-game text dialogues. The game is also said to be presented like a TV drama, with each chapter revealing more of the story, aiming for a deep and engaging narrative experience, with emphasis on the fortune of love. This page introduces characters Miyako Shigaraki and Sayeko Tanaka from St. Elsia Academy. Miyako is described as a cheerful classmate who is also a bit of a troublemaker, acting as a reporter for the school newspaper, always looking for gossip and interested in trends. Her nickname is Miyako. Sayeko is also a classmate, and her nickname is Sai. She has a boyish appearance and a slightly rough way of speaking, often using you in a commanding way, but is actually kind and good at housework. She is in the handball club and is admired by younger students. The page also details various locations within St. Elsia Academy, such as the classroom, infirmary, library, and rooftop, describing each briefly. The classroom has large mirrors and clocks with air conditioning. The infirmary is described as a place where the health committee members serve tea. The library is a two-story building with a good collection of books. The rooftop of the school building offers a view of the town and the sea breeze. This page introduces characters from the visual novel game Canvas Seppiaro no Motif. Featured are Noemi Ito, the protagonist's dependable younger sister who is quiet and gentle, Takuya Shibasaki, the soccer ace and handsome student, Machiru Amamiya, a kind older sister-type character interested in Myanmar culture, Michiru Amano, a substitute teacher who is respected by her students and studies archaeology, Shamuna Fan, a mysterious and quiet transfer student, and Masashi Hashimoto, a senior track and field club member and reliable senior figure. This page features an interview with Toshio Tabeda, a chief producer at NEC Interchannel. The interview discusses NEC Interchannel's strategy for the Dreamcast and Saturn consoles. Tabeda mentions that NEC Interchannel had many hit games on the Saturn, and they are moving to the Dreamcast. He talks about their approach to game design, focusing on visual representation and expressing human emotions through polygons. He mentions the games Monster Breed and Melty Lancer as examples of their 3D game development on the Dreamcast and Saturn. The interview touches upon the transition from 2D to 3D graphics and how they are exploring the possibilities of 3D polygon graphics. Tabeda believes polygons are essential for expressing human emotions in games. He suggests that while some may see 3D graphics as a risk, it is crucial to embrace new technology. He mentions that Dreamcast titles are generally larger in scale than Saturn games and will be released at a slower pace. He also notes the shift in the market, mentioning the regulations from CES and the trend towards 18+ games on the Dreamcast. This page is a preview for the Sega Saturn game Kiss Yori, a romance simulation adventure game by Kid. The advert uses a question format asking, "Do you remember? Do you remember that day? Do you remember me?" Our reunion is the start of a new love story. The text describes it as a romantic adventure game from KID, who have provided many love games to Saturn users. The game's story is set in summer, with the protagonist initially intending to enjoy the beach and sea bathing with his girlfriend. However, reality is not so sweet, as he has no girlfriend and no money. So he takes on a part-time job at a resort for a month, hoping to meet girls. The goal is to find a girlfriend during the summer break. The game boasts a new system, beautiful graphics and full voice acting, and features 7 girls to meet. The yellow box highlights that the game is from Kid. Scheduled for release in March '99, price undecided, is a simulation adventure game and is recommended for all ages. The text in the yellow box also includes comments from a writer who mentions that summer vacation is a major event for students, and it's wonderful to spend it with a girl you like. They personally prefer short-haired girls and hope the protagonist and Nanami become happy. The game is stated to be 35% complete at this point in development. The next page introduces 2 heroines from the Sega Saturn title Sentimental Graffiti. First up is Chihiro Asoka, a kind and feminine second-year high school student who the protagonist secretly had mutual feelings for in middle school. Her personal data reveals she is 160 centimeters tall, blood type A, with measurements B82, W5, 8H85, and birthday on August 29th. The page highlights a cute scene where Chihiro blushes intensely after the protagonist wipes cream off her cheek at a cake shop, and another happy accident where she falls into his arms on the beach. Then we meet Chiri Sugita, a cheerful and trendy first-year high school student who works as a waitress and loves sweets. Her personal data shows she is 153 centimeters tall, blood type O, with measurements B87, W59H88, and birthday on December 13th. The page features a sweet moment of them enjoying milkshakes on a date, and another humorous scenario where ice cream spills near her face, prompting a teasing comment from the protagonist. There's also an image of an omelet with "I love you" written in ketchup, suggesting a romantic gesture in the game. This page introduces 2 characters, Hirose Nanami and Yamazaki Kana, from a Sega Saturn game. Nanami Hirose is described as loving the sea and enjoying marine sports. Her personal data reveals she is 160 centimeters tall, blood type AB, with measurements B78 centimeters, W57 centimeters, H84 centimeters, born on March 29th, and a second-year high school student. Heimas. Kana Yamazaki is presented as cheerful and energetic, with hobbies described as All interesting things. Her personal data states she is 165 centimeters tall, blood type B, with measurements B 83 centimeters, W 58 centimeters, H 82 centimeters, born on November 24th, and also a second-year high school student. The page highlights Nanami's love for the sea and Kana's cooking skills as key traits. This page previews a Sega Saturn dating sim game featuring character profiles and game systems. It introduces 3 main female characters. Miku Hayasaka, a high school first-year student who appears childlike but is mature and earnest in love. Rei Kashiwazaki, a mysterious and cool high school second-year student with a queen-like personality. And Ringo, the protagonist's younger sister, a middle school third-year student. The page highlights 4 game systems. Real-time conversation, where choices affect relationships. Real-time action, where player actions during events influence character reactions. A dream, déjà vu system, which allows viewing past and future events to understand character feelings. And a snapshot function to take pictures in the game. The game seems to revolve around developing relationships with these girls, possibly encountering interference in love, as suggested by the phrase, "Those who interfere with people's love lives are..." This page is a character introduction page for the fighting game Eretz Vahu, which is described as a fighting action title coming to Sega Saturn. The page highlights 2 characters, Kane, the Thunder Dragon, and Kiyaki, the Fire Dragon. For each character, their moves and commands are listed, with screenshots showing them in action. Kane is described as a standard character, easy to use due to his reach and powerful strikes, while Kiyaki utilizes ninja arts and various projectile attacks. The game was reportedly 100% complete at the time of this magazine, with a release date set for January 14th, priced at 5,800 yen, and supporting 12 players. This page introduces the 3D fighting game Ehrgeiz, God Bless the Ring, for the Sega Saturn, emphasizing its aerial battles in 3D fields. The page highlights the D-Power system, which seems to be a special gauge for powerful moves and guarding. There's a promotion to win signed character artwork by the character designer Lee KPA, with 5 winners selected. The page then focuses on 2 characters. Tina, a magical dragon, who is described as a girl transformed into a magical girl with a dragon companion. Her moves and commands are listed, including Deka Deka Guru Guru, Kikyoku Kick, Toriburu Star, Deka Star, Shutane Star, and Supe Star. The other character is Levi, a dark dragon, introduced as a guardian of time from another world who chases the Kaiser Dragon. Levi's moves are also listed. Spin Rod, Touch Attack, Yamino Kodomo, Kanzen Cancel, Hiku, and Hikari Tsura Zanyami. Screenshots show in-game action with character health bars and a 3D arena environment. The text suggests the game features diverse fighting styles and special moves for each character. This page is a preview of upcoming Sega Saturn games, focusing on 3 characters and their fighting styles. The first section is about Garnick, the Sword Dragon. Garnick is described as a well-rounded character, suitable for various situations, but with a somewhat short reach for normal attacks. Distance management is key when playing as Garnick. His special moves include Trick Slash, Spirit, Headbanking, ED, EE, Hellface, and Strobo Attack. The screenshots showcase gameplay with combos and special effects. The next section highlights Eriorna, the Light Dragon, Eriorna. Eriorna is presented as having strong regular attacks, with special moves as accents to her gameplay. Her speed is emphasized, allowing for 3 consecutive normal attacks. Her special moves include Tourle Saber, Tail Attack, Rose Flash, Ray Sonic, and Holy Light. The screenshots show Eriorna performing various attacks and combos. Finally, the section on Scion, the Wind Dragon, introduces Scion as a character whose normal attacks are not very strong, but whose special moves are surprisingly useful. Self-coating projectiles and Gale are mentioned as strong techniques. Her special moves include Loop the Tornado, Sprite Hammer, Self-coating, Gale, Twister, and Rising Wind. The screenshots show Scion in combat and highlight the effects of her special moves. All 3 characters appear to be from the same fighting game, likely unreleased at the time of this magazine issue, and were not released outside of Japan. This page is a preview for the Sega Saturn game Guardian Heroes. It introduces 3 playable characters, Gulf, Marielle, and Rubone, each with a unique fighting style and backstory. Gulf is described as a powerful fighter driven by vengeance for his daughter. His special moves include Throwing Lock, leading to Bit Press, Meteor Strike, and Big Crash. He fights alongside the Earth Dragon. Marielle is on a journey to avenge her family and utilizes magic-based attacks. Her techniques are Trick Card, Dimension Sword, Dolphin Kick, Geo Sword, and Eighth Day. She is accompanied by the Water Dragon. Rubone is a dangerous character obsessed with poison. His moves include Death Swing, 2 inches leading to Death Ring, Biting leading to Quick Bomb Bullet, Death Chase, and Quick Bomb Bullet SP. He is associated with the Poison Dragon. The page also details common techniques available to all characters: a rescue during fall move, a down attack, and a D-power charge, which can be performed in different ways, including consuming SP points. Screenshots of the game in action are also present, showcasing the characters and dragon companions in battle. Langrisser Dramatic Edition, I and II, a simulation RPG from Messiah, is presented as a definitive compilation of Langrisser I and II for fans. Priced at 9,800 yen as a 4-CD ROM set released on December 23rd, this Best Album Edition emphasizes strategic gameplay and a deep game system, complemented by appealing characters designed by Satoshi Urushihara. It's positioned as an opportunity to revisit the Langrisser series, known for its evolving strategic mechanics and compelling narratives. The game features tactical maps and anime-style characters, with package art showcasing main characters. The story revolves around the Holy Sword Langrisser, the Kingdom of Baldea, and the conflict between light and darkness, featuring characters like Prince Baldea, Lucerys, and Jessica. This page is showcasing the Langrisser tribute for Sega Saturn, a compilation that includes Langrisser I, II, II-I, IV, and V, across 4 CDs. It's described as a luxury item, perfect as a gift. Langrisser II-I's section details the setting in the continent of Elsalia, encompassing various kingdoms. Protagonist. It mentions the protagonist Diehardy, who leaves his parents to become a knight in Larkus Kingdom, and gets caught up in the conflict between Larkus and Liguria Empire. Langrisser the Earv's section talks about the battles in Elsalia, and the era after Elwyn defeated Chaos. It introduces the new setting of the Liegenbleg United Kingdom and the ambitious character Giseloff, who aims for power and targets the village of Gotal. It mentions Landius's presence in this conflict. Langrisser the 5th section describes the story focusing on the protagonist Sigma, who is pursued by Faust and Isel. Sigma is also tied to Giseloff and fights alongside Lambda. The narrative explores the chaos of the world and the awakening of Sigma. The page also highlights a luxury manual that covers all 5 Langrisser games, detailing controls, hidden commands, and aiming to be user-friendly. It also mentions a telephone card as a bonus item included with the software. This page is about the upcoming Saturn release of SearchPy Carry Secret Album, the latest in the SearchPy series, marking its 5th anniversary. This title is described as a database software packed with graphics and setting materials from the series. Players can expect minigames and special movies as bonus content. The page highlights a quiz element asking, "What is SearchPy's bust size in cm?" Developed by Jaleco, it's slated for a spring release with an undecided price and is aimed at an 18-plus audience. It's a 2-disc set promising a lot of content to enjoy. The page also features a report from an interview at Inoda Sensei's workplace, showcasing photos of the interview with Kanai-san and Takahashi-san. This page is an advertisement for the official strategy guide for the Sega Saturn game, Real Mahjong Adventure Summer Waltz. It highlights that the guide is a complete walkthrough for the game, featuring strategy charts for all 7 girls, routes to the normal ending and best ending, hidden event information, and indispensable data for complete clear. The guidebook is priced at 1,400 yen, is A5 size, and contains 112 pages. This page introduces Imperial Assault Graph, a newly released Sega Saturn game. It focuses on the Sleeping Beauty in the Forest performance within the game. The page details gameplay segments from different days and times in the game. The first section covers Day 1 Noon, which involves a puzzle element. Name of the Rose section shows action platformer style gameplay. Day 1 Night features a light stage puzzle sequence. Day 2 Noon highlights costume selection for Sulamire and Iris, noting bonus points for selecting shiny dresses. The page then summarizes the story of Sleeping Beauty in the Forest, as it is represented in the game, covering key plot points: the birth of Princess Aurora, the witch's curse, the encounter with the prince in the forest, the activation of the curse, and the prince's awakening kiss. It is mentioned that the heroine who becomes Aurora Princess will be determined by the player's actions throughout the game, and anyone has a chance to be chosen. Characters mentioned include Taiga, Kenna, Sulamire, Lenny, and Iris, involved in preparing for the performance. This page is a special Christmas issue of the Emperor Capital Journal, dedicated to the character Rainy from Sakura Wars. It's showcasing fan submissions and artwork centered around Rainy, and categorized into prize sections like Big Prize, Cute Prize, Iron Prize, Pineberry Prize, Good Prize, and Very Good Prize. These fan contributions, from different prefectures, feature drawings and ideas about Rainy, such as her Eisenkleid mech from Sakura Wars 2, cute outfits, and even pajama themes. The Big Prize features Rini's Eisenkleid Milky Way from Sakura Wars 2. The Iron Prize section references Rini's Eisenkleid and questions if the submitter knows about Iron Dre. There is also a special Rini consultation section that discusses fan postcards and submissions related to Rini. Overall, the page is a celebration of the character Rini and fan interaction with the Sakura Wars series. This page is a Sega Saturn software review page from a magazine. It features reviews for 3 games: Girl Doll Toy, Langrisser Tribute, and Sonic 3D Flicky's Island, known internationally as Sonic 3D Blast. Girl Doll Toy is reviewed as an adult-oriented adventure game, praised for its graphics and sound, but criticized for being too niche and difficult for casual players to empathize with. Reviewers noted the old-fashioned command-based interface, a step down from PC versions, and the inability to change the doll's name was seen as a negative, despite the game featuring multiple endings. It received an average score of 5.0. Langrisser Tribute is presented as a must-buy compilation for fans of the series, containing Langrisser I and II and Langrisser 2I. Described as a collector's package, it achieved a 99% completion rating and is considered difficult. Sonic 3D Flicky's Island is reviewed favorably as a fun 3D action game, with reviewers drawing comparisons to the upcoming Sonic adventure. It is praised for its 3D perspective, engaging gameplay, and bonus stages, although noted to be quite challenging. It also received a 99% completion rating and is considered difficult. The page includes opinions from female users, regular writers, and guest writers, with specific reviewers like REI, IPAN, and Denduya Nen providing comments for Girl Doll Toy. This page is focused on the game Rent a Hero Returns and acts as an unofficial fan page within the magazine. It starts with a question about a new character named Rent a Hero Hiroko-chan, suggesting a female version for the game and appealing for image illustrations of her, possibly in a bikini-type combat armor. The page then explains what Rent a Hero is, describing it as a B-class action RPG developed by Sega AM2 for Mega Drive, noting its unique world and setting. It mentions its appearance as a hidden character in the Sega Saturn game Fighters Megamix. It also includes a screenshot from the original Mega Drive Rent a Hero game. The page is also seeking Rent a Hero cosplayers for an event on December 30th, inviting people to inform them if they are cosplaying as Rent a Hero characters at the event. There's a section highlighting a porting wish ranking, showing Rent a Hero climbing up to 25th place in popularity for game ports. It also mentions games like Fighting Vipers and Virtua Fighter being popular in the ranking, and notes that Spike Out is also gaining popularity. The ranking chart also features the FF series and Dragon Quest series at the top. Finally, there is a call to action for Rent a Hero fans to join a fan club. The page lists names of club members, including Ume, Vafion Hara, Kawai Katsutoshi, and several others, appealing for more fans to join and support the series. This page is an advertisement for the official strategy guidebook for Noel 3. It highlights that the book contains information such as which girl is preferred by players, hacking data for all nodes, character preferences for Yuka, Ayumi, Eito, Chinatsu, and Kotomi, and methods to increase their favorability. The guide also covers story branches, escape mode walkthroughs, setting materials, voice actor FAX interviews, and developer interviews. The advertisement emphasizes it is a guide to hacking Eriko High School within the game. Noel 3 was a visual novel adventure game released only in Japan. This page is from the Sunnyside SNK section and highlights the Neo Geo Pocket Color game, Samurai Showdown 2, known in Japan as Samurai Spirits 2. It emphasizes the game's pocket fighting series aspect and boasts about samurai warriors rampaging on the Neo Geo Pocket. The page reveals secret character selection methods and features screenshots of gameplay action and character art, showcasing fighters like Jinjuro and Shiseki. There's also a section called Hyper Freaks and a call for postcard submissions from readers. The page includes a message from someone at SNK and details about how to unlock hidden characters by using specific directional button inputs during character selection. It encourages players to discover these hidden characters and enjoy the game. This page is a Capcom feature from Hello, Capcom. It includes messages from Capcom developers Funamizu Noritaka and Minami Tatsuya. Funamizu discusses the release of Dreamcast and Capcom titles like Resident Evil and Power Stone, mentioning the NAOMI arcade board. Minami talks about striving to create quality titles, referencing 4 MB RAM, Dreamcast titles, and arcade games. The page also showcases screenshots from several Capcom games. These include JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Captain Commando, Street Fighter Alpha 3, 1942, and Cyberbots. Full Metal Madness. There's an announcement about the return of the Nijirocho no Kiseki radio drama, based on the gamebook, for its 3rd series on Radio Osaka, airing every Saturday. A CD of the radio drama is scheduled for release on February 20th. Finally, there's a call for reader submissions for the Hello Capcom section, inviting postcards, text, and illustrations related to Capcom, regardless of the game platform. A submission address is provided. This page is all about the arcade game JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, a fighting game adaptation of the popular manga and anime series. The article highlights that the game truly captures the essence of JoJo in its presentation and character actions. It mentions the game will operate on the Capcom System 2 iBoard. A key feature discussed is the stand-on/off system, which is crucial to master. When stands are active, attack power and speed increase, enabling rush attacks and stand rush combos. However, players need to manage their stand gauge, as taking damage depletes it, potentially leading to a stand crash state. Turning stands off allows for gauge recovery. The article advises caution, as guarding with a stand while in the off state can result in health damage. The page also details tandem attacks, special stand attacks activated with a specific button combination, and the S button. There are 2 types, program type and Oricon type, differing in their execution and gauge consumption. Program type attacks allow stand attacks during their activation, while Oricon type uses both SP and stand gauge. Finally, the article points out that DIO, the final boss, makes a sudden appearance, even in CPU battles. DIO is described as using his stand, the world, to stop time, showcasing powerful and visually impressive moves. The article emphasizes that fighting DIO is a must-see experience. The screenshots showcase in-game battles, character portraits, and special move animations, capturing the over-the-top action of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. This page is an introduction to a new series called The Wall of Truth, which is presented as an enlightenment seminar for Cybertroopers Virtual On Oratorio Tangram. It explains that the Virtual On story, particularly after the events of Operation Moongate, OMG, in the original Virtual On game, is intricate and shrouded in mystery, leading to much speculation. The article suggests that the Wall of Truth series aims to shed light on the Tangram, described as a profound and enigmatic concept representing true human wisdom, which acts as a barrier to understanding. It emphasizes the desire to question and understand this Tangram. The series is announced to begin in 1999 and features a prominent image of a virtual Empion mech, likely from Oratorio Tangram. This page showcases Cybertroopers Virtual On Oratorio Tangram, highlighting the game's character design by Hajime Katoki, with original 3D modeling credited to Yoshihiro Mori, Virtual On Works, and graphics and editorial design by Nobutaka Ari. The image features a detailed view of a mecha, likely from the Temjin series, which is the focus of the game. This page is an introduction to the arcade game L.A. Machine Gun's Rage of the Machines, a sequel in spirit to Gunblade NY, and developed by Sega AM3 Research. It highlights that the game is currently in operation in arcades, and details its gameplay system and 4 stages. The page mentions that it is a 3D shooting game, playable by 1 or 2 players, and runs on the Model 3 board. The article describes the thrill of using unlimited machine guns to destroy enemies and the game's cabinet, noting its immersive sound and vibration features to enhance the shooting experience. It points out that the enemy AI is advanced, making each playthrough different and challenging, and the game features stages like Las Vegas The Strip. The goal is to suppress terrorist organizations using machine guns, but strategy is key, as simply shooting is not enough to win. The game is praised for its immersive graphics and intense action. This page introduces the 4 stages selectable for play in the game. Incoming, a 3D action shooting game. Stage 1, Los Angeles, is rated as easy. The mission is to rescue the president from terrorists in a city setting with high-rise buildings. The comment from AM3 describes it as high-speed aerial combat and dogfights against android enemies, unlike other gun games. Stage 2, Alcatraz, is rated as medium difficulty. The mission is to rescue Alcatraz prison, setting the stage for a naval battle. AM3's comment highlights the exciting sea combat, with enemies attacking from the ocean, emphasizing fast and free movement on the water. Stage 3, Las Vegas, is rated as hard. The mission is to protect a cash transport vehicle in nighttime Las Vegas. This stage is noted as being more challenging than the previous stages, featuring cityscapes with neon lights. AM3's comment focuses on urban warfare, protecting civilians, and destroying android enemies. Stage 4, Yosemite, is rated as very hard. The mission is to destroy an enemy base located underground in Yosemite. It's highlighted as the most difficult stage, shifting from ground to underground combat. AM3's comment emphasizes the 3-dimensional stage design, allowing free flight and the intense simultaneous attacks from both ground and air forces. The overall introduction encourages players to try out these diverse stages. This page is a strategy guide for the second stage of Star Wars Trilogy Arcade, focusing on the Endor Forest stage. The mission objective in this stage is to destroy the shield generator base. The stage begins with the player riding a speeder bike through the forest, recreating famous scenes from the movie. After the speeder bike section, the player dismounts to destroy the leader base. The stage culminates in a boss battle against an ATST. The speeder bike is described as a one-person anti-gravity bike used by the Imperial Army, capable of speeds up to 500 kilometers per hour. Scout troopers ride military-style speeder bikes equipped with armor plates, blaster cannons, and communication devices. The ATST, also known as a scout walker, is a 2-legged walking tank mainly used for reconnaissance. It is equipped with light armor and primarily attacks with small-caliber cannons to suppress infantry. 2 crew members, a pilot and a gunner, operate the ATST. The information from AM12 research section provides gameplay advice, suggesting players use both hands on the stick and alternate button presses with their index fingers for accurate and enjoyable play in this shooting game. It also mentions the game's official homepage address. This page showcases strategy tips for different sections of a stage in Star Wars Arcade. The first section focuses on speeder bike combat, advising players to be mindful of terrain and obstacles, and to predict enemy movements when shooting for better accuracy, and to achieve a perfect bonus by avoiding damage. The second section covers base area combat, where players are on and encounter stormtroopers, emphasizing the use of event button prompts to trigger Ewok assistance, and rewarding players who target Ewoks for bonus points. The final section details the ATST boss battle, stressing the importance of targeting and destroying the 3 weapon parts of the ATST to gain bonus points and reduce the enemy's turret overheat, making the fight easier. This page is a special report on Daytona USA 2 Power Edition. It highlights the mixed course strategy using the Hornet car and the twin-link Motegi NASCAR gathering. The article promotes the world's first 16-player communication battle in Daytona USA 2, which was showcased at Twin Ring Motegi. The report emphasizes the excitement of the 16-player battles and the enthusiastic response from players who enjoyed the game in arcades, mentioning that even on a cold winter day, players were very engaged. It details how the 16 cabinets were set up in an L shape and mentions live monitors displaying the race for spectators. The game is described as a popular arcade title that brings a fresh experience with the ability to play against many opponents simultaneously. The page also includes screenshots of the game and players engaging with the arcade cabinets. This page is all about Daytona USA 2, Battle on the Edge, highlighting the new mix course. This course combines beginner, intermediate, and advanced sections into one long and challenging track, especially when using the Hornet car. The page details different sections of the mixed course with screenshots and provides racing tips for each part. It also mentions that the Scorpion car from the game was being exhibited and emphasizes the impressive 16-player communication feature. Makoto Osaki, the director of Daytona USA 2, is interviewed, and he talks about the challenge and excitement of implementing 16-player races. He notes the significant effort in optimizing the game's visuals and performance to handle so many players on the Model 3 hardware. Osaki expresses his hope that players will appreciate the new course and the enhanced gameplay experience. This page is a game guide for the House of the Dead 2, focusing on Chapter 2 and its branching paths. It details the muddy section of the second chapter and presents a flowchart outlining different routes and boss encounters labeled Boss A and Boss B. The guide explains that depending on player actions at Branch 1, they can proceed to Branch 2 inches or Branch 4. It mentions saving a driver from zombies as a key decision point influencing the route. Enemy types like knife zombies, crows, and piranhas are also highlighted with gameplay tips on how to deal with them, such as aiming for the bonnet of a car driven by zombies, or defeating crows quickly. The guide emphasizes strategic play and awareness of branching paths to navigate Chapter 2 effectively. This Dynamite Cop 2 strategy guide details branching paths and gameplay tips. One key branching point, Falling Steel Beam, involves deciding whether to hit a beam after fighting zombies. Hitting it leads to Branch 1 in Chapter 3, while going straight or left avoids it, influencing the boss route. Boss_B having fewer branches. Another branch, Woman in Confinement, presents the choice to help a woman, leading to Branch 7 and Boss_a route via an underground passage, or to ignore her, directly accessing Boss_B. The guide highlights challenging routes with various zombies, including fat zombies, Johnny, Randy, and long-arm zombies. It recommends headshots and using Fukuro crowbars for efficiency. Screenshots illustrate gameplay moments like zombie encounters and decision points. This page is a prize garden advertisement from Sega Present, promoting Dreamcast merchandise, available at amusement centers. It announces a 12-month emergency announcement related to Yugawa Senmu and the Dreamcast. The ad features Yugawa Senmu and Dreamcast t-shirts, reversible cushions, and plush toys, encouraging fans to support Yugawa Senmu and Dreamcast. The merchandise includes t-shirts with different Yugawa Senmu designs, Dreamcast logo cushions, and Yugawa Senmu plush toys. It mentions that Dreamcast production is delayed, making these goods a way to show support. The ad encourages people to visit amusement centers to get these special prizes. This page showcases a collection of merchandise prizes available in December. It features various items including Ramen Chef character figures, Super Horse plush toys, Morinaga Chocoball Kyoro-chan calendar mascots, and Sesame Street plush toys. Version 4. There are also Pan Shells World Cups and Spoons, Tama and Friends nightlights, and Viking-kun fragrance holders. For game fans, there are keychain figures for Sakura Wars 2 inches featuring Maria, Kana, Koran, and Orihime, Bomberman Wars plush toys, and Cyber Troopers Virtual-on Oratorio Tangram keychain figures including Feiyen Kaien, Temjin, AFAR-MD, Raiden, Cypher, and Balbados. The page details how to apply for these presents by sending a postcard to SoftBank Corporation by January 9, 1999. This page is an advertisement for a new game magazine called Game Mania. It highlights features like a look back at the Dreamcast phenomenon, a feature on Biohazard or Resident Evil and its Undead Festival, a long interview with Shigeru Miyamoto from Nintendo, and a long interview on the development of Ridge Racer Type 4. The magazine is advertised as revealing everything about games, and states they are currently doing undercover interviews. It also mentions a release date of January 11, 1999, and a price of 690 yen. This page is a horoscope section titled Weekly Dreamcastrology, predicting fortunes for the period of December 25th to January 7th. It covers all 12 zodiac signs, providing insights into love, money, health, and work for each. Each zodiac sign section includes advice and keywords to improve luck. The Lucky Person of the Week feature highlights Umekoji Ayaka from the game VF3TB as someone born on March 14th under Pisces, suggesting that good news and bad news will affect them, and the year-end will be a good time to connect with people of interest. This page is an advertisement for a reader prize draw from Dreamcast Magazine, offering Dreamcast game software, a Sega Toys 99 desk calendar, a Eternal Melody Ensemble clear file, and a Seaman postcard as prizes. The next issue, Volume 3, is previewed, highlighting features on Shenmue, Sega Rally 2, and Sengoku Turb. Upcoming content will include 99 Creator New Year's Greetings, board and card games, building Dreamcast homepages, Sega Rally 2, and creating pro baseball teams. This page is an advertisement for the Sega Saturn game, Friends Sparkle of Youth, a game exclusive to Japan. It's a visual novel or adventure-style game, slated for release this winter. The advert highlights the game's theme of unspoken feelings from the past, and asks, "Who was it that you wanted to meet?" It also mentions the price as 7,200 yen, excluding tax, and that it comes as a 2 CD set. The game is developed by Fairy Tail and published by NEC Interchannel, with illustrations by Toru Mizutani. This page appears to be an advertisement or promotional page for the game D2. The image features two characters prominently in the center, a blonde woman in the foreground and a darker-skinned man slightly behind her. The text at the bottom reads, "See you in 1999, suggesting the game's release timeframe. The D2 logo is clearly displayed at the bottom right corner. The text at the top left is magazine information, and the text to the right of the characters mentions D2 and 1999 special calendar, indicating this page might be related to a promotional calendar for the game in 1999.